I recognize 2 people from their Steam names, not aside from you, obviously, because
Everyone has bullshit Steam names that don't make sense.
To be fair,
noticed
mine's
this.
the same. But,
I've noticed this though. Well, no, yours is like your channel though, isn't it?
right now, I'm just Carta.
No, yeah, but it's like it makes sense. Either you do your channel or your real name or what people know you for,
Yeah.
and everyone's like, I hate to say it, Shane, because this involves Susie, but like, especially with the whole like picking characters from shows and stuff. I went through a phase, but that lasted very, very, I only did it a couple times. But now it's like, who are you and what have you done with my friend? Oh, you're that person, right?
You have an entire group of friends that all pick different Homestuck characters to name their Steam accounts after.
And then it's like, who are you again? Have we met? Oh, right, you're my best
Man,
friend.
I was done with Homestuck a year ago. It got to a point where it was just like, skip to the end.
Let's not get into this. I might play the video game if it ever comes out. Do you want to start? Are we ready? Are we prepared?
I think we can start.
Are we in the zone?
For a minute there, I almost thought we had.
Okay. I haven't done this in a year. I have to...
You have to cough a lot.
Oh, yep. Hello... Oh, shit. Not again!
Here comes the hesitating.
Hello, No,
And the
not
pointless
right, not right.
restarts.
No.
Can we start
Rewind.
this whole...
Wait.
Okay,
How do you make a VCR?
To dredge up an old eye laser beams meme, can we restart this whole thing?
Yeah. How do you... What's the noise that a VCR makes when it rewinds? It's like... Hello, shit! How did I used to do it? Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the podcast.
You'd better
We're
leave
back.
all that in the
About damn time.
I looked it up. The last time we did this was December 15th of last year. I'm not sure if you were in the room, Carta, when I said that.
Yeah, I was here.
That's so close to being a year ago. I didn't even realize. Well, what happened was me and Shane started doing the talkover, which is more like philosophical, let's talk about game design and shit, not news. We decided we were going to keep news to the podcast.
But then that had a rocky start, too.
No, actually, it started out really, really well, but the last one we tried to do, we were just off our groove. We just started talking about news, and it was awkward, and we kept asking awkward questions, so we just scrapped it.
A little bit of channel trivia. We actually had one recorded after the Toy Story one that we're not even going to upload because it was...
it's deleted.
Yeah, it didn't
It's
work
gone.
out.
It doesn't exist anymore. And we started realizing that certain games don't work.
Because you have to
Carta,
focus so hard on the game.
Carta, do you remember Batman and Robin for the Genesis or Mega Drive? For people
Oh yeah, I'm
outside of
familiar
the
with
US?
that.
Imagine trying to have a casual conversation while trying to beat the crap out of Harley.
I'm sorry.
It was impossible! And it was just us dying to her over and over again.
It's not that it was
You
a
only get
bad
so many
game, and
restarts.
it's not that the topics we talked about were bad. It was just... We couldn't focus on both.
Now we have to make a pointless parallel series called Let's Not Talk Over or something like that. It's just really hard games, and all we do is just rage and try to beat the game because we can't focus on anything else. Yeah.
Oh my
Marketing.
gosh,
I'm bad at it.
Oh, you would rage so hard at Freedom Planet.
Freedom Planet. Oh, is that a new Sonic game?
It's a Sonic-like. It's kind of got elements of Sonic, like classic old school 2D Sonic games. It's also got elements of like Rocket Knight, I think. And it kind of merges all those concepts together. The thing is, I was doing a little history.
Wait, hold up. First. What have we all been doing this past week/3 months? Carta, why don't you go first? Go.
I'm not talking about my job because I hate it. It sucks.
No jobs. It's okay. Just okay. Now you can talk about the game.
Honestly,
Go.
yeah. Well, by the time this goes up, the review will probably be up on Mod5, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it.
It'll go up late tonight, probably.
Possible link in the description below, maybe?
I'm a boss. This might be a preview. This might be a prelude. Yeah, I can plug the link in.
Yeah. So, I got a copy of Freedom Planet for review purposes. Thanks, Tyrone. And playing through it, and it scratches that nostalgia itch for me so well. and it's one of those games that it's not really a Sonic clone, even though it started its lifespan, so to speak, as a Sonic fan game.
Is it like a Momentum kind of platformer? Like left to right 2D-ish? Like, it's 2D or 3D, first of all.
If you can get up ahead of Steam, I mean, there's certain areas where you got to do the whole puzzle platforming thing, but there
also, it does like go to a crawl.
Occasionally, but it does give you plenty of places to just get up a full head of steam. And I mean, even some of the boss fight rooms, you can actually just if you get your momentum going, you can climb up the walls, run across the ceiling, down the other wall, which is really freaking
skip the boss.
No, I mean, as part of the boss fight, you know, it's actually can sometimes be the easiest way to dodge some attacks.
Because I remember in classic Sonic, you really didn't slow down. Like, it had the illusion of you going really fast. It was just momentum. It kept the momentum and pacing well. Mm-hmm. It wasn't as bullet speed as people think it is. But you really didn't slow down and just come to a complete stop. Unless you screwed up, or if you weren't really good at it. Like, if you could just bulldoze through and you had that muscle memory down, you could just
there were a select few puzzle elements. Like, I remember there was this one level in, I think, Sonic 3, that Marble Garden Roman themed one, to where there were these little spinny things where you had to stand on top and then do the crouch spin, and it would like turn a wheel that would raise a platform or open a door or something like that.
Yeah.
There were parts like that.
Even if you're good at that. Even if you were good at that, you could stop, activate the switch, and keep going.
Yeah.
Real quick. But it was that, concept.
It wasn't a full momentum breaker, basically.
Yeah, it's that momentum. If you're good, if you're a boss, you can just blast through it. I'm saying, so it doesn't slow you down completely? Like, it does try to do the whole Sonic thing?
Yeah, because, I mean, there are certain spots where you kind of have to take, like, diverging paths and, do a little bit of backtracking here and there to, basically activate this thing over in this room and this thing over in this room to open a door. And, but it feels like it keeps the momentum going. And the boss fights, I think there's maybe one or two boss fights that I had issues with because they felt a little too random.
And they didn't fit the story. Like, what's the aesthetic? That's what I'm wondering. Like, you're explaining this game.
The aesthetic is, it looks like it started life as a Sonic game, and then the guy just converted the art assets to a set of original characters.
So it's like similar graphic style.
It's like basically imagine sort of a game that's sort of on the cusp between the Genesis and the Saturn. Like it's got the 16-bit graphic style of the Genesis, but it's got the smoothness that the Saturn
well, it's probably fake 16-bit, first of all. Well, it's probably not actually restricted in any way. They just made the art style look
right.
Like
it's sort of.
I remember reading an article about that.
Yeah,
about how
it's got the aesthetic.
I think it was actually Shovel Knight talking about how one game they purposely made it look like it, but they broke the rules and used colors that they weren't. Another game, I can't remember the name of it, they were ultra frugal. They're like, okay, this is the color palette that was available back then. We have to use these colors and nothing more.
I think Shovel Knight. Yeah, Shovel Knight was the rule bender.
Yeah, it cheated, but they emulated the style in such a way that they could incorporate all these cool new colors.
Yeah, they kept the same feel of the old.
Oh yeah,
retro games.
So, what else have you been doing besides reviewing games? Or is that about it for?
That, and I've been playing a lot of Payday 2.
Oh God! Well, see, Shane, do you like the premise of Payday? Do you like it or no? Because I'll hold my tongue, but I want to see what you say. Carter loves it. For anyone who didn't guess, he's obsessed with it.
I'm not as obsessed as my buddies are. Trust me.
Well, stop.
It's not normally my thing, honestly. Like,
I mean, not even a...
Let me ask a couple of questions here. What exactly is it? The concept of the fact that you're performing criminal activities, or is it just that it's a shooter, or is it that it's a cooperative?
I pride myself on having a flawlessly working moral compass in real life, but I'm the kind of guy who has no qualms about blowing off steam by loading up Skyrim and rolling a Dark Brotherhood character. Okay.
Okay.
Dark Brotherhood.
Fanboy.
Dark Brotherhood is the shit in Elder Scrolls. Okay. End of story. Favorite faction.
Fanboy.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Is it because it's a shooter then?
Partially because it's a shooter. Anybody who knows me well enough knows that I don't usually go for shooters. There are exceptions, but it takes a lot to make me like a shooter. I don't know, just the theme and setting too, I guess. It's not even so much the whole criminal acts thing. It's just, I play video games for the fantasy of it, the whole, hyper-realistic, pseudo-real life, but with a twist thing doesn't really appeal to me.
Like Avatar Syndrome, like it's so beautiful you'd prefer it because it's way better than real life.
Well,
I don't know. It's the combination of it's a shooter, which I already have a hard time with. It's the criminal activity thing, and
well, one thing I've noticed is that with a few exceptions, the heists that you're pulling off, you're basically ripping off like gangs or mobsters or corrupt politicians. They set up. Let me finish. Sorry.
Okay, finish. Go.
They set up sort of the concept that you're trying to be like a modern day Robin Hood, in a sense.
I never got that just from watching trailers and hearing people talk about it.
Yeah, because I mean it's there in the I guess lore, for lack of a better word, but the stuff you're doing, you're screwing over the bad guys as much as you are the good guys. It's just the people you're shooting 9 times out of 10 are the cops who are just doing their job.
Yeah. See. Okay. Here's my beef with it. I do not give a shit about the whole criminal activity thing. I'm fine with
it's just a game, and a lot of people nowadays need to learn the line between real life and video games. But that's a whole nother podcast topic in and of itself.
I think we
that's an entire episode all by itself.
We haven't covered that. That was private conversations. No, I think we need to cover that. Oh wait, no, I think we talked about video games and violence a little bit, but not the whole disconnect between. Whatever. Anyway, my beef with it. I'm okay. I'm fine with the whole criminal activity, even if it was just hey, you work for the mob, whatever. My problem, I think it's because it's a first-person shooter. Not even it's a first-person shooter. It's the fact that it's a first-person shooter, and it's like, oh, we're gonna go do a heist. Let's go do another heist. And another heist, and we're just gonna keep doing heists until we're old men with gray hair. It's like there's nothing else to do.
You weren't a fan of Left 4 Dead either, were you?
When I never actually played it. I watched it. I like the story. I have only watched it. I've never played it. Okay. But I'm okay with story shooters too. Like that's a linear story though.
Right.
You're talking about a variable challenge game. I don't like when shooters that it's just that'd be like I always compare things to Halo because it's my favorite shooter. That'd be like Halo. Were there challenge modes in Halo?
There was.
You took out the PvP multiplayer. You took out the campaign mode. Yeah, if it was like just the gimmicky challenge stuff and not like a linear, taking out the linear story, taking out the PvP. Like when I want to play shooters, I like variety because that's I think one of their strong points is you never get bored because they usually throw in different modes. And it seems like I know there are different types of heists, but you're still doing a heist. Like with GTA games, there's like so many different things to do. It's not just stealing stuff. You're going around and you're stealing cars and shit like that, and it's fun and it never gets old. This it just seems like, we gotta go rob another bank.
Well,
and I can't even steal cars.
No, the thing is, you've got your typical bank robberies, but you've also got things like at one point you have to infiltrate an FBI building to find out.
That's another thing.
Where
keep talking.
You infiltrate an FBI building to find out where some mobsters are stashing their cash, and then the next day you're actually quote unquote robbing the bank, but you're burning the money because a rival mobster is trying to send a message. So you set up a videotape and then you burn the money so that the guy gets to watch all of his money burn. Because it's that sort of thing. But I mean,
that's what I thought of when you were saying that, when you said FBI building. That's another thing, is set pieces. All of how many buildings aren't fun, in my opinion. Like, it's the inside of banks and stuff, and I've seen footage of the game. It just seems so samey and brown. Like, it's not brown, but it's just...
I think that's one of the biggest things that got to me, touching on the whole pseudo-realism thing. It's just the setting. Don't care for the setting.
It's Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is not that interesting. I've been there.
So make a sequel in California or something. Or, I don't know, that's it. Venice? Hey. Throw some boats in there.
We gotta
get the cash into the boat.
The thing is,
get it into the dinghy.
It's a first-person shooter. They don't have vehicle mechanics in it. You get in a van, and that's basically a loading screen to the next, thing you have.
The van isn't a vehicle; it's a checkpoint.
I personally don't like it because I don't like the visual. It's I like the concept of what you have there. It's a cool game. But why can't I go play something that looks, more interesting?
I just wish that they would set up a free weekend soon so that you guys could give it a shot and just see if playing it would change your mind. I just don't want to go spending money on it if you guys aren't going to like it, and I want you guys to go spending money on it if you're not going to like it. So
I
just want the opportunity to change your mind without any of us having to spend money on it.
I would like to see mods for that game, to where it's just reskin everything. So it's you're in an elven city robbing an elven bank with guns.
Or sci-fi.
Or sci-fi. Yeah, that's a good idea. Sci-fi, Star Trek, kind of yeah!
Dude,
that seems so much cooler to me.
That would catch my attention. If I want to go see... If I want to go walk around the inside of a bank, I'll go walk around the inside of a bank in real life. I'm not going to rob the place, but just from a scenery standpoint, if that's what I want to see, I'll walk out my front door, walk down the street, and go see it for myself. If I'm going to play a video game, I want something a bit more flashy. Is that so wrong?
Here's the thing, especially if they did it in Vegas. Oh my god! Okay. All of the graphical detail they could have put into that.
It's funny. It's funny you bring that up because there is an upcoming heist that is a Vegas casino,
and it will probably look like shit.
You don't know that.
Just saying. I have okay. When it comes out, you can show me record yourself playing it, and we'll talk over the.
Oh yeah, I'll stream it.
Yeah, because I don't know, man.
The thing is,
that's a game that needs a shit ton of neon and bloom. Is what I'm saying.
It's funny you should mention that.
What is that? What it looks like?
No. This week is the Hotline Miami crossover heist. So guys in loud 80s looking suits will be involved.
I never got bit by the Hotline Miami bug.
Neither did I, but I bought it just because I had the 50% off coupon for owning Payday 2.
It's not even the aesthetic of you're the guy going crazy killing people or whatever. I honestly did not do that much research, but the actual I've looked at gameplay of the game and it seems so weird.
It's
you got to go into the house and then predict. It's
more of it's less of a shooter and
strategy game.
Yeah, it's a top down sort of puzzle game. It's
you're
trying to get the combo rolling. It's okay, if I wait until this moment, he's going to be standing in front of the door. I can knock him out by opening the door into him. Then I can pick up his weapon, shoot the guy across the room, run over here. When this other guy comes around the corner, beat him to death, etc., etc., etc. It's about finding a combo and work.
Does anyone remember Frozen Synapse? I think that was the name of it. Pretty sure TB did a review. It was one of the
sounds familiar, but
it was one of the first WTF Total Biscuit ever did. I think.
Yep.
It was called Frozen Synapse.
Oh yeah.
And it was, you had your guys, you had to deploy them. The game was just tech grid look. It was blue. And the guys were white, and it wasn't the graphical style was supposed to look like you're looking at a simulation, you're in the command post or whatever, and you're looking, and you had to deploy your guys, and it was a turn-based thing, and you could actually play it over a couple of days through email, almost like through online chess, and you move your guys and you plan and you kind of see, okay, but the trick, shoot through that door, go around. It seemed like a fast-paced version of that with a really, really weird graphical and
here's the trick with that, though. Turns were simultaneous. So you plotted out your guy's turns. At the same time, the other guy was plotting out his guy's turns. And then you got to see if your plan worked or if it was completely screwed over by what the other guy was doing at the same time.
Yeah, there's no preview in Hotline Miami. I'm saying I don't think I like the concept of Hotline Miami. I think for that particular genre of game, I prefer something like Frozen Synapse, where it's very technical and you get to think it out and you get to plan. I'm not sure if I like the run and gun in a strategy game. It's a cool concept for people who like it, but I just don't think it's my cup.
I played it a bit, and it's just kind of like, I can see why people like the gameplay aspect of it. I don't think it's necessarily my cup of tea. I mean, I like puzzle games, but this is more, this is more do it over and over until you get it right sort of deal.
It's like Frozen Synapse and Dark Souls had a baby.
Maybe, kind of, sort of, I don't know.
That's kind of what you were telling me. That's what I just heard out of your mouth. So, well, then again, we always say, "Oh, such and such and Dark Souls had a baby." That's just like repetitive. Like, what's the word? There's a term for it.
Cliche.
Not try until you die. Where you have to keep trying over and over and over and over again until you do it right.
Learn from your mistakes.
Trial and error.
Yeah, just a trial and error game. I guess that's what we call it. Yeah, not roguelike. That's something completely different. But yeah, that's anyway. I think that's about it for your stuff. Anything else interesting?
Pretty much. How about you guys?
Shane.
Yeah, I know. I'm the boring one.
What? No. This isn't going to be boring. This is going to be a monologue because I spent $150 freaking on that thing. Okay.
Yeah, and then I end up playing more than you do. Yeah,
I've been playing. That reminds me. I need to sign in. And get my loyalty points. Okay. ArcheAge.
Are you going to be doing this right on the podcast? You're going to sign on and get your tokens while we're talking?
I should, but no, I'm not going to do it. It might mess with fraps. ArcheAge is a MMO by Glyph. Or wait, no, by what's the developer? Glyph is the publisher.
It's actually developed by XL Games, a Korean company. Tryon Worlds is the publisher.
Oh yeah, not Glyph. Glyph is their launcher. I always call them Glyph for short.
Glyph is their launcher program. Yes, that's not the company.
So the gist of it is it's like East versus West. There are these two continents. It's kind of like Ion or classic WoW. It's
an RPG, by the way.
Yes, MMORPG.
Forgot to mention
East versus West. Kind of territory battles. You can literally. Okay, I need to organize my thoughts here. It's completely open. There are no loading screens or anything. Nothing's instance except dungeons. So you can literally go down the street, keep walking until you hit the continent, jump in a boat, go across the continent to the enemy continent, get off and start killing the other alliance. So it's a really cool concept. And they have non-instance housing, which is another cool concept because it actually adds to the world. And it's like, oh, I live by this place. The problem is, there have been so many overpopulation problems and server problems, and oh my god, it just sucked the fun right out of it. And I don't know if I'm ranting on it. Too much.
They have been adding more new servers. Plus, we've only seen up to like the level 30 areas. In my case, I've got a level 30 something character. The higher level maps might not be as populated because there aren't as many people settling houses there.
I had to go to like a level 40 or 50 just to make just put a house down.
Yeah, anyway, I was gonna say give it a few months and you'll see when people start hitting the level cap, you'll start seeing those places fill up.
It'll equalize.
There are methods for it to equalize. Like you have to pay taxes on any farms, gardens, houses that you own across like all your characters on all your whole account. The way you do that is these tax certificates that you can. Okay, I need to rewind, but there's a system in place that's partly to fight off like overcrowding and overpopulating for properties, partly as an anti-botting mechanic, like a deterrent. called labor points.
And it pisses me off. We'll get into that.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that. I played a little bit of beta, like about 20 minutes, and was just kind of like, I made a cute character, and now I'm not really interested.
Once Shane's done talking, it wasn't so much the server stuff that pissed me off, it's business practices. So once he's done explaining this, I will
It is a good system. I know why they did it. It pissed me off at first, but there's ways to make it work. You get labor points. As a free player, you get a chunk of 5 points every 5 minutes you're logged in, effectively 1 point per minute, and you use them to do just about anything that isn't fighting. Gathering, crafting. You can take labor points and craft them directly into the tax certificates that you pay for your property with. It's a way to make sure that you are active and engaged in the game and not just a robot running a macro, farming stuff and hogging all the good property and whatever. So yeah, eventually there will be people who get either sick and tired of the upkeep, or they take a break from the game and forget about it. Their lot will expire because they're not paying taxes, and those spaces will open up for new people. You can't tell me that everybody who has stuff planted down there is going to keep it just indefinitely, like till the end of time.
Okay, can I go on my rant now?
Yes.
Now that we know how the game works and labor points and everything. Okay, so it's not so much the server stuff. Like, there was a ridiculous queue. Like, they did queues. They restricted people from making characters. Like, they kind of refused to expand the existing servers, and they just added a few more. That I don't agree with.
Yes, they have.
All of that equalizes with hype. Oh, they did upgrade the existing ones with more room?
Not as far as like physical game space, but if you're talking about population
power, limit, yeah.
There were some nasty queues when the game first launched. That was
That's the other thing I was going to get into. It's not the server stuff that bugs me. It's some of their practices. They like nickel and dime so much. Okay, so what's a good example? I had a good example, and I forgot. No. Well, one thing I can talk about. That's a game mechanic that isn't so much, I think of the other thing. The fact that crime is a thing is okay, right? You can open PK people. Hold on. You can open PK people in, anywhere, in unprotected zones, which is pretty much everywhere but the beginning zone. You can steal unprotected crops and stuff like that. That's fine. The fact that criminals get perks to make them better at stealing, and then, there's pirate guilds, and there's all these cool things horrible people can do. It's like, no, the reward for being criminal is you're doing the crimes, You're stealing the stuff that isn't yours. You shouldn't, one perk is like, you leave less evidence. You can actually get convicted and go to court, and then you serve time in jail. But the jail sentences are very, very short, and you get perks to where you don't even leave as much evidence, or any evidence at all.
Okay, can I make a rebuttal now?
Yes.
For one thing, it has been proven that the jail times, they were lowered because people in beta were complaining about getting jailed and then having a huge chunk of their time, limited time in the beta, taken away, yada yada yada.
After they stole shitloads of stuff.
So then when the servers started over with the new time increments, people started seeing that these people getting convicted were only in there for like a few minutes at a time, and then started complaining that it was too short. Well, now that how long has it been? 2-3 weeks?
Yeah.
2 weeks since launch?
Probably 2 weeks, yeah.
The repeat offenders are having their time racking up. I have been watching trial chat and seeing people having their characters put away for upwards of an hour each time. And that's on top of all the times they've already been in there.
But see, like, it's not even so much the perks. The perks is one negative. I'm okay with having, you know, the whole crime thing and stealing, but there are things called public gardens, right? To where you can place things, or you can plant stuff and do basically it's, for free-to-play players to do, the out-of-combat stuff. Farming. You can't have a house and stuff like that. You can still have boats, because boats are actually items, you know. But it's just for you to plant stuff and it not get stolen. There are only so many types. Like, you can have certain livestock, certain vegetables, and, like, certain trees. But, like, spices, there's, like, 2/3 of everything you can plant can't be protected. It's like, what? It's like they're forcing you into getting Patron, which is the service.
They do have to have some incentive for people to pay for subscription. Here's the thing.
Okay, I pay for the subscription. I put my little scarecrow down. I have a little plot of land that I can build stuff in. Okay, I need to build a house so I can get more protection, right?
Bigger area.
I get mugged taking the materials there, and they steal the materials after it took an hour to get those materials. Frickin'!
Okay,
it's so annoying.
One, I would chalk a lot of that up to bad luck rather than the system being inherently flawed.
True.
I mean, that's not going to happen to everyone who tries to build a house, okay?
It's just so demoralizing.
I know, it is.
Yeah, it would be.
Two, there is the report function to where you can report the crime and have it count against them.
If they're not a really good criminal and have perked up to where they don't leave evidence, then they get away scot-free. Continue.
It's impossible for them to never leave evidence. And still.
Yeah, you're probably right.
3, that encourages players, whether they're free or not, to group up and play together because there's safety in numbers. You were out by yourself in the middle of God knows where when that housing area was still very empty.
No, there were people there. We actually fought the guy back. A guy helped me. He's like, oh, there you go, no problem, you know, good luck. And as soon as he left, the guy came back and he helped me. I'm like, no, friend, come back, don't leave.
That's why you joined a guild.
Kinda, you know,
either that or you just don't care about that type of stuff.
It was partly because, I was inexperienced and I didn't know what I was doing. But.
Exactly. Point number 4 that I would say is that a lot of people go into the game and start up Arcade with misconceptions.
About what the game is.
Yeah, about what... No, not about what it is, just what you're capable of doing at what point in the game. Like, you loaded up the game saying, I want to build a house. Level 1 character.
It's because of the population rush. It was because of the population rush. Everyone was like, oh, we gotta get in and get houses as fast as possible. I'm like, well, shit. I gotta hurry.
The people who did that are not going to have their houses in another week or 2, depending on how dedicated they are. Because
what bugs me with this topic,
if you place down a design, the blueprint for a house, it puts up the little scaffolding thing that you dump the resources into.
Uh-huh.
You have to pay taxes on that as if it was a complete house for as long as it's there. Even if it's not a complete
house. There's a security deposit for the fancy schmancy house that I picked, so I got really screwed.
Yeah, that's another thing. You picked a really
That was your own dang
house.
Fault, dude. Come on.
You didn't start with one of the little small ones that only cost 15 Guildastars to buy and 5 tax certificates a week to upkeep. You placed down the blueprint right away before you had the materials for it.
Yep.
And now you are complaining about all this stuff that has been happening to you.
What bugs me is you're paying $15 a month for air quote protection, and it's all the hoops you have to jump through.
Wait, what are you talking about? Yeah. $15 a month? You're talking about patron status?
Yeah, patron status to put down, farmland or a claim. It's basically, we'll call them claims.
If you do it right.
So you can grow stuff. Here's the problem. It's like, okay, you get the small scarecrow by doing a quest that requires you to plant stuff outside of public farms.
No, it doesn't.
Hold on. Yes, it does. The, what do you call it? The one with spice. Oh, wait, maybe you're right.
No, that's the tutorial for commerce runs.
Yes, that's for the donkey. I'm right. Okay, so they give you the scarecrow.
That's another thing you wanted to do before you were.
Hold on.
Okay, simultaneously, while you were trying to build up the materials for your house, after you placed down the expensive blueprint without having the materials for it, you simultaneously wanted to do trade runs to the enemy continent of all things, and then you were complaining that you didn't have a house or farmland to grow the stuff that you needed to make the trade pack.
Wait. Hold on. I need to get some popcorn for this.
Oh God, shut up. They hold on. They give you the small scarecrow for free, but you have to go through so many hoops to get the bigger scarecrow. It's kind of like a chain reaction.
It's just,
hold on,
it's just another short quest line.
No, it's not. You go, basically this is how it goes, Carta. Small scarecrow, large scarecrow, you use that farmland to grow stuff to make the house, right? That's logically how you do it. They give you the small scarecrow for free, but you have to go through so many hoops to get the large one. You have to do 2 commerce runs, one halfway across the continent, the other one the other halfway across the continent.
You do realize that to even after that, you do realize that in order to get to the quest line to get the large scarecrow plot, you have to do the quest to get your donkey.
Oh, that's easy.
Mount Pet.
That's a part of going across
with trade runs because it lets you move faster even when you're carrying
a
trade pack.
Not the freaking ocean! You can't ride a Jesus donkey across the ocean. Hold on!
That's what the boats are for, you derp.
Shush! You go halfway across the continent, get your donkey, do the other run, you're in the port. Then you have to go across hostile waters to the enemy continent to trade, come back, and then you get the large scarecrow.
Yeah, it's a risk, but you know, people do it all the time because they don't go it alone.
Okay, fine. Okay.
There is a reason why in real life history trade caravans were a thing.
You know what you do?
They're a thing in ArcAge too.
You know what? You put
people do caravans in that game. It's actually kind of fun.
You put a level limit on houses. So people like me don't do dumb shit, because they're morons.
That I could possibly get behind. But then, in that sense, you're putting an unnecessary hard limiter on people who may very well be ready for it and have things planned out ahead of time.
In my opinion, you should get a ship before you get a house. I just didn't realize that. Mm-hmm. So, you know, and basically, my beef is...
Sail?
Huh?
What about people who don't actually want to sail?
Then
it's
don't.
Kind of
There's
vital.
plenty of other things to do.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're gonna put caps on things, that's gonna cause problems for the
buy
people
a car.
Who just don't want to do that sort of stuff.
Literally buy a car if you don't want to sail. There are land vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Get some mode of transport first, then get. Well, basically, what I'm saying, in my opinion, you have to get the large scarecrow to make the house, so you're gonna have to sail. So either get a guild, get a trading route, go get the thing. Yeah, you're right.
And that is not a bad thing. You know why? Because all that stuff takes dedication to do. If you are a casual free player who doesn't have a lot of time, who just wants to sign onto the game to mess around and have fun, you shouldn't be caring about that stuff.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so
that's the whole thing that people don't get with free-to-play versus paid perks, the optional subscription thing. If you are someone who is that dedicated to the game, you like it enough to play it that much, you should probably be passing a couple bucks to the devs to help them keep running it, especially when you get the perks you do. For patron status, the main and only real reason I got patron status was for the increased labor points. They double the labor points you get while you're online from 5 every 5 minutes to 10 every 5 minutes, and then you get the 5 every 5 minutes while you're logged off of the game.
Okay, so my beef with patron status and the way that whole thing is, that's just inexperience. I just think there should be some way that they, tell newbies what they're getting into better. Like you said, when they log on, there's this misconception that I fell for. And then, the criminal perks I don't really agree with, but, whatever. Or I said,
I think there is actually a bounty hunting system in the game.
Oh, they
you actually get a reward for going out and hunting pirates.
One thing,
you know Ko, right? Ko Carnage from Twitch.
Yes.
I've heard him talk about this item that he's always wearing. It's his cloak. He calls it the Bounty Hunter's Cloak. I looked it up on the wiki. It's a thing. They don't have information on how to get it yet, but judging by the name, I think I know how.
Okay, so... And then the perk thing, but I honestly think one thing they could add to that would maybe make it to when you PK someone, it takes up like an exorbitant amount of labor points, like 100 or something. Like a chunk, like you really have to commit to it.
That was the idea that's besides the point. That was my thought.
Yeah. The third thing that bugs me is just their business practices.
How so?
To where you have a subscription, okay, but then you have to pay for character slots, and then you have to pay for, cash shop stuff, which is a given. But I guess what rubbed me the wrong way is it's a specific instance. Okay, Carta, when you think of weapon skin, what do you think of?
Oh, this.
If I'm gonna pay, let's say, a couple dollars, somewhere between $1 and $5 for a weapon skin, what do you think I get out of that item?
Something that looks unique, I would hope.
No. That's the skin. I need the glue to stick it on an item. So I have to pay another $1 to $5 to get the glue.
You're kidding me.
To take the paid item, I have to take the paid dust to slap it on the actual item and merge them.
Because it's not just for the paid, glider and armor skins. It's a cash shop thing, like the transmutation charges and whatever from Guild Wars.
But why are weapon skins?
To where you can take 2 normally acquired items in game and fuse the stats and appearance.
But why are the skins in the cash shop come preloaded to where you can just slap it on? Why do I have to buy dust just to put it over? It should come pre-charged with, air quote, glue. If I'm putting that much money into it. And it's a lot of money.
How much money was... You're talking about the Pretty Princess glider that you bought?
Yes. For context, there's this butterfly. It's like a little beetle butterfly glider with hot pink sails. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get that for the hell of it. It was like 400 to 600 points.
It's not a whole lot.
Not 400 to 600, sorry. No, I think it was more like, I gotta look this up. It might have been like 14. Hold on, let me look up on the wiki.
Maybe I shouldn't try to get you interested in Payday 2. You would go absolutely berserko over the mask system.
Oh no!
Because that's like the primary method of character customization.
No. Well, I'd like it if is it kind of Dota style to where people can customize their own and stuff.
Yeah, you can get as part of doing heists and stuff, you can potentially earn masks, which are the shape, materials, which are like the base texture, and then patterns, which are designs that go over the top of the texture, and then color schemes for the patterns. The biggest problem is that it's entirely RNG based, and you are not guaranteed to get any of those particular items off of any particular heist.
Okay, the obligatory question: is it possible to make a Guy Fawkes mask?
Actually, yes.
Yes.
Are you shitting me? Hold on. Are you shitting me? The one I bought in the cash shop, you can get on the island to spend your coins on. For anyone who doesn't know, you get those coins that you buy a house and stuff.
The Gilda Stars that you get from story.
Yeah, you get them for completing. Yeah, dailies and quests.
You are impulsive. You do not do research.
But still, it stands to reason. Even if you couldn't get it anywhere else, shut up, you clapping smug asshole. It's the fact that it rubs, no matter how much money it costs, even if it is relatively cheap, but I remember, I can't remember the exact price. It was a substantial fraction of the amount of points they gave founders. The fact that you're paying for something and then you gotta pay more just to use it, it's like, that goes against cash shop logic.
You didn't have to, because you can buy it from with Gilda Stars. You are mad. You are mad at this game and its publishers because you got suckered.
To be fair, the option of being suckered is as bad as the fact that he,
Yes, that's what I'm getting at. Is that some of their business practices are very
that he got suckered. is bad.
It should be common sense to anyone who plays MMOs. I can understand for like someone who's brand new to an MMO, but for us who've been playing for years, common sense tells you anytime you see something in a game's cash shop, check and see if there's anywhere else you can get it first. It might just be a convenience thing.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but in Guild Wars, if you buy a skin from the shop, can't you instantly attach it?
Yes, it effectively comes with a free charge.
I know, but I'm sorry, I've been spoiled by good developers, good business sense, or fair business sense.
Also, point of order, common sense ain't that common.
Just I know, you guys were getting into it, and I was like, oh, I should buy the Founders Pack, I've got money, like, we should get invested in this, and I was like, I was doing things in the heat of the moment, I was live streaming, I was trying to do stuff, and I wasn't thinking. I'm just saying, I don't believe in some of their business practices. I think the crime system could be revised a little, and I think newbies need to be guided a little bit more when it comes to spending the big bucks.
Fair points. I'm just saying the game still has enough merits in spite of all that.
Oh yeah, it is a fun game. It's just like you said, people can't go into it thinking what I thought.
If I can take a moment to not even segue, but just do a quick little PSA to anyone who happens to be watching who is interested in ArcheAge but hasn't started yet, or maybe you have but you're not that far into it. Your first character ever, as tempting as it may be to get really heavily into the crafting, like, I want to have a house, or I want to build my own car. Don't look at those as very long-term goals. For your first ever character, just play it like a normal MMO. As much as it may suck to say for how hyped up it has been that ArcheAge is different than other MMOs, and it is, your first character through, just pick a class, find a class you like, stick with it till level 50, get a cap level character, who you can play competently, and then go back and establish yourself in all the fancy.
Or while you're doing that,
naval combat and everything else the game has to offer.
Or while doing that, because this will actually get you experience, make, or gather stone, iron, and wood.
Oh yeah.
The whole time, because that'll get you experience as you're gathering it. Maybe refine it into its purer forms.
Exactly.
That whole process will, and just stockpile it.
Especially if you have patron status and you do have that luxury of a lot more labor points to work with, gather everything that you have the points to, which, trust me, if you get those offline labor points stack up, you'll hit the cap really quick. Gather everything you can, craft it into at least, I'd call them tier 2 materials, the refined materials, because you get EXP from that. Some people, you might even be interested in taking that small scarecrow and placing it down somewhere, plant a few trees, get some lumber stocked up, because that's not something that's anywhere near as easy to find.
Or go to a public farm that lets you plant certain trees.
So that you're building up your resources ahead of time, so when you get to cap level as your first character, you've got this huge cache of materials to work with, either, to be the sensei of your guild and go help out the newbies, or to help out your own alt character when and if you make a second. One thing I would say, though, to someone who is really interested in doing some early level crafting, metalworking is easy as shit. If you have a character that uses metal weapons, bonus points if you use plate armor for your class, up until you've crafted the second tier of armor, the level 24 gear, you can do it fairly easily. I'd say stop at that, because the level 30 gear is a bitch. You actually have to do trade runs to get one of the materials to craft the level 30 gear. So if you're not feeling confident enough to do cross-continent trade runs by the time you're level 30, take a break from crafting and just use the quest armor.
That's another thing I don't like, is the times for stuff to grow. Carta, the quickest tree to grow takes 6 hours.
No, it's not. Yew trees take 4.
4?
And they can be modified by climate if you plant them in the right spot.
They only yield a couple logs, though.
It's 4 each. 3 to 4 each.
For a decent tree, you have to wait a day, and then the highest grade tree takes 4 days.
Actually,
it's
No, trust me,
dude.
While you have been away from the game, Susie, Josh, and I have been playing it, and we mathed it out. Yew trees actually, over time, give the highest yield because each one only gives you 3 to 4, but you can plant like 4 at a time at a small farm plot. They mature every 4 hours, so if you're playing often enough, or if you're not, just like sign on to your account every 4 hours throughout the day just to check on them, you get more over time. Because you're harvesting them more often. Whereas like, the aspen trees, they take like, I forget if it's 12 or 14. It's always hard to tell because of the climate thing. They give you like, 8 or 9 per harvest, but it takes so long for them to grow.
Yeah, like
what a lot of people will do is when they're playing throughout the day, they'll be planting yew trees to where they can harvest them all throughout the day,
switch.
Either because they're playing all day if they have the time for it, or just every 4 hours they come back to check. And then at the end of the day, right before they go to bed, they'll plant a garden of aspens, wait overnight, and then they wake up in the morning, get that big boost, and then start over again. You can get a lot of lumber doing that.
Aspen. Anyway, I had to say it.
But that's the thing. That's one part where I will agree with you, is that the game doesn't do a good enough job teaching you things like that.
Yeah.
You have to know people who know that stuff.
That's
why you join a guild.
The gathering quests could teach you
join a guild,
tricks
kids.
like that.
Make sure it's a good one, but join a guild.
That's enough for Arcade. We're actually at like the 55-minute mark. Do you guys want a really long, like, hour and a half, 2-hour podcast, or should we do 2 separate podcasts?
It's been almost a year. I say let's just run through the list.
Gigantic,
break it back
big
in.
Big ass too. Great, my stomach gets hungry now of all times. Let's go to news.
For the second half, we need to make food jokes and puns. And
No.
I already mentioned popcorn, so.
Steam curation is now a thing, and Total Biscuit is #1, and everyone's pissed off, even though he does a good job.
I've heard a little bit about the curation thing, but as someone who's only heard tidbits, could you explain to myself and the viewers what Steam curation is?
Valve is lazy as shit and left it to the users to organize stuff, basically.
Okay,
Carta, go.
Carta, can you do the more polite description?
Basically, I mean, this is something that Gabe Newell was talking about like a couple of years ago. I remember him actually talking about this. I think it was on like a Nerdist podcast. I think they got to go in and do an interview with him, and joking about how he can't count to 3, et cetera, et cetera. But one of the things that he mentioned was that he didn't think that Valve, through Steam, should even be the gatekeepers. He felt that the user base would do a much better job. And he was talking about, at the time he was talking about, okay, Steam Greenlight was, kind of,
not a good situation.
Well, it was not a good situation because they were, being very slow on, it was back when it was sort of a trickle instead of the ridiculous river of crap games that are being put out on like an almost daily basis now. But those floodgates have opened. They're not getting shut anytime soon. So Valve basically went, okay, it's time to implement this. So now what the system that used to be in place for Greenlight is in place throughout the entire Steam store. So from, basically now, anytime you look at a game page, you'll have the option, do you want to put this on your wish list? Do you want to follow news posts and stuff from this game? Or are you just not interested and we, won't, bug you about, hey, you should try this game because it's popular again.
Mm-hmm.
So basically the sort of the system that was set up for Greenlight is now in place throughout the store. And also users can create groups or use existing groups and make recommendations. And effectively what you are doing is you are making your own storefront. The downside is you don't get a cut, which would be really nice. But I mean, heck,
which was originally talked about.
It was originally talked about, but I think it was one of those things that they were just kind of like, maybe we should just. I am just guessing here, but I'd be willing to bet that a lot of publishers were going, I don't know about that.
There is some controversy about the potential for bribes and people supporting bad games because someone pay them off and that whole bag of shenanigans.
Well, yeah, but it's up to the... yeah, I guess. But it's like Dota, like Devil's Advocate, Dota item style. You know, it's like you get a tiny, minute percent, and you know, it's the 1,000th cent that makes you $100. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just making a minute. Are you talking about like Steam Workshop type of stuff?
Yeah, like that kind of.
That's actually creating something. The curation is just is like giving. Not even a review. It's just like giving the thumbs up to anyone who follows you because you're popular and yay.
Here's the thing about the bribes, though. If you've noticed, all the top curators, most of them, are not the bullshitty, crappy websites we've come to learn. Like, it's Jim, it's CB, it's, you know...
Yeah, here, let me pull up the list here.
People aren't following the crappy people who would take bribes because they know they would take bribes. They're taking the honest people who they know can give an honest opinion.
Okay.
Therefore...
Here's the top 10 curators on Steam as of right now. You got Cynical Brit Gaming, who has more followers than the next 4 combined.
Yep.
PC Gamer. Jim Sterling. Rock Paper Shotgun. Nerd Cubed. Jesse Cox. Kotaku. Jesse has more followers than Kotaku, and I am so proud of you, Internet. So proud of you for having taste.
Mwah. Mwah. And you get kisses. And you get kisses.
Plus 2 points for Jesse being ahead of Kotaku, minus a half a point for Kotaku being up on the top 10. I'm sorry. Go on.
Just Good PC Games. I'm not sure who's in charge of that one. Northern Lion, and some guy named Alex El Capo, who appears to be Spanish. So I guess he's... I guess his list is good games that have Spanish language support. I would just off the top of my head.
That's cool.
But
see, like, go ahead.
It's a good system because this way, what you see like on your Steam front page is now influenced by people whose opinions you trust, and not just
IGN.
What publishers paid for freaking coverage.
Exactly. Yeah, notice how IGN is in the top 10. Like half to more than half of like the 10 are good, honest people. So it's like, why wouldn't you want the whole, you know, getting a cut or whatever? Well, I get it gets complicated too. Of if you follow multiple catalogs, I forget what are they called again?
Curators.
Well, curation page. Yeah, they're catalogs basically.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I follow Jim and TB and Jesse, they all recommended the same game. Who gets the cut?
Whoever's page you're reviewing when you bought it.
And then it comes to, oh crap, who do I support? You know, it gets my I can see why they didn't do it.
I could see some. Yeah, I can see points both ways.
And
I can see ways that it could work, but I can also see ways that it would still be a little sketchy.
And in the Great Emperor's defense, he was right in the fact that, you know, the community would do a better job. It's just, it comes off as kind of irresponsible. Like, Valve should have tried to have, like, their own generic, you know,
they did.
Page.
It was called Steam up until a week ago.
You know what I mean. And I remember, I don't know how valid this is, but someone was talking about how indies are going to, or how this applies, indies are going to be harder to find through this somehow?
Not necessarily, because if it's a good indie game, it's still going to show up.
Good ones rise to the top.
Yeah, 11 and 12 on the curator list are r/PC Gaming Master Race.
Oh god.
And Boogie 2988.
Yeah, Boogie, Steven. Sorry, what? What were we talking about? Huh? What did you say about favoritism? Anyway.
Yeah, I'm actually looking
being a fan.
I'm looking for IGN, and I don't even see them in like the top 25.
Good.
Wait, can you search? Wait, forget the number rankings.
There's a search. There's a search.
Search for IGN,
Give me a second.
please, for the love of God.
Under 500. Under 500.
Doing it live.
Under 500. Under 500. Under 500. Go.
1,846 followers.
Shit.
Out of how many?
Co-Optimus, focusing entirely on co-op games, 6,006. Jesse, 34,000. Jim Sterling, just over 50,000. Cynical Brick Gaming, almost 217,000. You have taste, internet.
See, here's the thing, though. See, here's the problem, though. Look at those numbers. Look at the subscribers of all of those channels that made. It's like, how many people are actually
fairly similar?
How many people are How many people are actually using Steam for what Steam was originally intended as? Not much. They're just using it to get games that they hear about. Like 200,000 from TB. He's got 1 million. Like he's got about 200,000 concurrent, but still 100 like 1 million subscriber. Or like with Jesse, I think he's at like 600,000, and he gets concurrent of how much? Like 50 to 100,000, and he's only got what? 35,000?
Well, keep in mind that some of these lists are very specific as to what they're intended to be. Like, I know Jesse's list is focusing entirely on story-driven games.
My point is,
so
even though I'm talking about this and I know a decent amount of my brain just died. Even though I know the subject material, I don't follow any contributor. I don't post anything in the community section of Steam. I don't use Steam for, like, I'm one of those people. It's just there. My point is, a lot of people don't actually. Yeah, I'm just saying it's an interesting fact.
Well,
to look at the numbers.
actually, you make a good point, because you're actually kind of describing me. I don't spend a lot of time in the community side of Steam. It's just a shop and client for me to run my games through.
Isn't that I'm still supposed to be? Like in the very beginning.
Well, see, with the curation, they're trying to make it to where here you can find games so much easier, but the numbers are saying not that many people are actually using the thing to find new cool games. They're just staying silent.
Hang on, you're confusing a word there, because you're saying not that many. I would say not as many. Okay, so
not as many as expected.
Compare TB's YouTube following with his, curation numbers. Maybe a lot of those people just don't really care about, Steam in general. They're not going to, pay attention to it. But in general, it's still notable that TB's got more followers than the next 4 lists combined.
I get that. I'm just saying, I think this kind of opens our eyes as to what people are actually using Steam for, and that this kind of, as worse as it is to say, not as a big deal as people might think it is.
I don't understand.
Well,
at the end of the day, it's just a way to buy games for a lot of people. They just go on to find, like, I'll be talking with you guys, hear a game, and go on.
And that's what the curation thing is supposed to be for, is just
for the people,
to get recommendations on what games to buy based on
people whose opinions you trust.
Known reviewers whose opinions you trust.
It was just a funny observation. I was just saying it was a funny observation to think about. That I don't think
honestly,
people realize that.
I think you guys should set up curation through the Frog Gaming group.
I don't know what I would do. See, a lot of the games I'm involved with are not on Steam.
Or at least not yet.
That's true, but the ones that you are, you can go ahead and.
I mean, I could put like indie
Black
games
Ice.
on there. I like.
High five, Garrett.
Yeah. Well, we could see Sky Nations, and I don't think Quarries of Scratch is on Steam.
It isn't.
I don't think so.
I can look.
I don't think that's Kale's vision for it. I think he
never tried to get it greenlit or anything.
No, I think he just wanted it to be like
Yeah, searching Steam for Scred. Yeah, let's say that 5 times fast. Comes up with nothing.
Yeah, so well, I mean, I could like do it for indie games, but there's like so many things that aren't on Steam that I play.
Well, then just do it for the games we do that happen to be on Steam. I don't know.
I guess, and like, what would it be games we've played, games we like? I mean, I don't know.
So
I guess just games I like.
Hey, Shane. Yeah?
I like to make a not boring list. Games that never get not never, but like are very hard to get boring.
You mentioned Black Ice. Is it possible to get a Steam key if you own the game already?
You're supposed to mail support.
Okay.
That
actually
period might be
yours,
over.
By the way. We just
There we go.
Sweet. Hook me up later.
I will do that.
Thank you.
I thought I gave it to you. Oh God.
No, you and I haven't actually talked in a while. I mean, I've been trying to.
I know.
Because I've been asking you repeatedly. Hey, you wanted a copy of Tabletop Simulator?
Can I do my happy dance now?
I don't do tabletop games.
Garrett's adding PvP.
Seriously? Wait.
And scorpions with butt lasers. Hashtag butt lasers is a thing.
I saw the beta images for those. Those things look horrifying.
He still hasn't made the centipede idea I had, which he probably will never make, but I can dream.
Never seen Garrett. If there's one thing I know about Garrett Cooper from my brief time with him, it's that he is a firm believer in never say never.
Not the Justin Bieber song. We'll go with the Oban Star Racers opening theme.
There's a Justin Bieber. You know what?
That's why I was pissed about.
Okay, that's a tangent I'm not going down. Let's go back to Black Ice for a second.
Anyway, the Oban Star Racer theme came first. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's pretty cool. But anyway, is it gonna be like open PK or like a dueling system, like sparring?
I have no idea.
That would be interesting.
I have no idea. Oh, I think he said it was going to be faction based, like you could join factions. I don't know. Kind of like guild versus guild. I think it's a thing you can turn on and off on servers. Anyway, are we done with Steam curation? Yes,
I think so.
Basically, we pretty much covered everything we wanted to say.
I think we've beaten it far enough into the ground by now. Yeah.
Carta loves it. I'm kind of mad about it. And, Shane,
I actually set up a Chrono Strider gaming.
I'll make a link dump. Maybe I'll start making link dumps like Rooster Teeth does.
Yeah,
instead of an actual description.
Because right now, Chrono Strider Gaming has 1 follower, which is you, which is me.
See, now if I follow it, it's going to be a sympathy.
Shameless plug. Hey, I am perfectly fine with sympathy follows.
Oh, that's sympathy. Here, you can't see the dollars being thrown, but sympathy for everybody. Okay, this is a little old news, but I thought it's probably relatively quick conversation. He says, and then it'll take 40 minutes to talk about it. Twitch being bought by Amazon.
Better than
kind of missed that.
Better than Google.
Yeah, way better than Google.
But it's a personal thing.
How
I personally don't like the whole lesser of two evils thing. Not that Amazon is evil; it just feels weird.
Awesome.
I don't like the idea of buyouts and sellouts in general. You know, I like the idea of sticking to your roots and sticking it out.
Think of it as
but that's just
funding.
Me. You know, I'm just giving my opinion. Don't hate on me for that. Think of it as funding.
Think of it as funding, and Amazon is the non-invasive supporter. Well, slightly. We'll get into what we might think they'll do later. Hold on.
Funny story about that.
And then Google. Okay, I'm oblivious to that. And then Google is, the one who would come in and wreck everything. But apparently, you have news that I don't know. But one thing hold on.
Okay.
Really quick. Okay. Just notice how everyone's still using Twitch now. It was like, oh, we're going to Hitbox. We're going to other places. And now it's like, oh, okay, we can keep streaming on Twitch now. It's okay. Go. What did Amazon screw up?
More than they do Google, and
what did Amazon screw up?
I will say that it's not as doomsday levels of disastrous as people thought it was going to be, but it has been a big hindrance. People have had to stop caring so much about saving VODs, which is kind of sad if you think about it. You can't save cool, funny moments that happen anymore unless you're like really super quick about saving a highlight and uploading it to YouTube before they take it down.
That was before Amazon.
They reversed that. shortly after. They said, okay, yeah, you can hang on to stuff up to.
It's not what you're thinking. It's not about the time limit thing. It's about the content ID matching.
That was going to happen way before. That was
completely independent of a buyout.
Yes, we found out later. That is just because they legally had to start doing that.
Okay, then I officially sit corrected. I thought that was.
They haven't shut down, and it's just on VODs. They haven't been shutting down channels that are live, which is good.
Yeah, it's only VODs that they're doing that with. Because could you imagine trying to police that many live channels for that sort of stuff? You couldn't do it.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
But.
And it's kind of a happy medium. It's like people get to play. I actually crossed this path with my stream because I'm like, when I was playing Arc Rage, I'm like, this shit is boring. I have to play music or something.
Some of the music is cool.
I know it is. But it's a happy medium because okay, you get to play copyrighted music, but you don't get to keep your VOD. It's like pick one or the other.
Can I make a quick 2-second segue back into Arcade?
Go ahead. I promise it's relevant to this. Yeah.
The music thing, I know what it is that you don't like about Arcade's music. Arcade has good music. It's that it's all mixed up to where the tracks they have playing don't always fit the situation very well.
Probably. That sounds about right.
The character select theme is amazing, by the way. I love that song.
So,
but yeah, back to what we were saying.
The copyright thing was there.
Funny little story about the content ID matching thing.
Oh, I think I know what you're going to say about the guy's voice.
Yeah, I don't know if you would remember it, but Theo actually showed it to us the day after it was implemented. One of the Twitch dev team employees, whatever you want to call them, they have their own account on Twitch. There is a Twitch account on Twitch. Yo, dog.
Oh, and it got
I remember this. I remember this.
I didn't even know about this until Theo sent the link that they have an account and they do like little vlog update things about what the dev team is doing on Twitch. The day after they implemented the content ID matching thing, one of their own VODs had like a third of it chunked out of the very middle. I was rolling.
I can one up you. I was
rolling on the floor laughing.
I was following, Cartable follow TB, and a StarCraft 2 caster, his voice triggered the copyright match.
What?
Whenever in the video he was talking, there was no music. I think he probably even had music turned off because it was an official tournament thing. Yeah, it was just game sounds, and his voice. Whenever he talked, it would be cut out. His voice was so majestic, it cut out the stream.
This is what happens when you try to automate things. I'm not saying it shouldn't happen because Lord knows, like Carta said earlier, there's too much content to manually police it, but this is what happens when you automate things and you can't find a way to do it right.
I was telling you guys about Dark Souls. Like, only the first when I did those few episodes of Dark Souls, only the first one got flagged. And it got flagged for that cinematic intro when Nito whips back like he's going to attack with his sword. Nito is copywritten in that sequence. If that image pops up anywhere in a video, and I think it's because they used that in the trailer. That's that was their test image for, okay, send this out into the ether, and whenever it hits, copyright that stuff.
So if you hadn't shown the intro cinematic, it wouldn't have gotten flagged at all.
Yeah. It's weird. That's how automated stuff works. It's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do we feel about Amazon actually taking hold of Twitch? Now that you know that those things were going to be in place, and the VODs being deleted after a week or a month or whatever.
We're being serious now? Okay.
I'm just saying. I like it. I don't think they're going to mess anything up.
About Amazon specifically being the ones to do the buyout, I don't really know, because it seems like such a left field thing for Amazon of all companies to be the one to buy them. I know there's the whole thing. I know there's the whole Amazon gaming or whatever that is. I don't even know all the details of that, but still, when you think of Google, flawed as they are the internet giant. That makes immediate sense. And all of a sudden, Amazon, an online store, buys the streaming site Twitch?
Consider Amazon currently has probably the closest thing to a streaming competitor that Netflix has for streaming video.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, Amazon Instant Video, I think. They are
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I believe they are the biggest competitor that Netflix has for streaming TV episodes and movies and stuff. So they have that. They started out as just a bookstore online, and they've just spread their net very, very wide.
Fair point.
And now, and they're working on, now they've got, the Kindle hardware. They've got the Kindle Fire line, which is basically Android tablets that are relatively inexpensive, and
Amazon's own brand.
Yeah.
There's Amazon TV. There's a box that you can hook up to your TV.
The Fire TV. So it's a set-top box that will play, like Android games and stuff on your TV. There's they're coming out with a Fire Phone as sort of a attempted an iPhone competitor. I'm not sure how well that's going to pan out, but they're at least giving it a shot. So they're
sorry, but Fire Phone by itself just sounds. Go on.
But, and now they're making a push into the game space with Amazon Game Studio. Among the developers that have been picked up for that, Kim Swift, who was the lead on Portal and Quantum Conundrum. She works there now. So yeah. So
I think I just had a light bulb. I mean, it makes sense, obviously, for Amazon to take Twitch, but we never really knew what they'd get out of it. Monetarily speaking, they could just take a cut from subscriptions and ads, obviously, right? Because they own Twitch, they're going to make money off of that anyway. That's inherent. But everyone was like, oh, what are they going to incorporate? What are they going to do to, put their image on Twitch and, really reap the benefits and, the investment?
Shopping links?
Ads? Yeah. It's like the ads that play will probably be from Google, but they could be selected to only display Amazon stuff. And I'm not sure if you guys have seen those Amazon banner ads. It actually goes into your cookies and looks up your account or whatever you've been viewing lately.
And it shows you what you've been looking at.
Yeah, it's like, you want to buy this? Hey, the $600 microphone you can't afford? Why don't you buy it?
Here's another thing, though. You know how on Twitch, when you're streaming, you can select which game you're actually playing so that people can see it without having to guess off the thumbnail.
Advertise the game.
Yeah. Have an affiliate
on the
link.
Stream.
Have an affiliate link on the stream page, so you click on, like a link that says, "Do you want to buy this game? Click here." Sends you over to Amazon, and for every person who buys it off of that link, that streamer can earn some money.
Or in reverse.
That is a thing that could happen.
Or in reverse, if you're on the Amazon store page, have a little thing saying, "Not sure if you want to buy it? Click here to watch somebody streaming it and get a preview."
And it takes you to Twitch. Yup.
So what you're telling me is that this could, in fact, be a blessing in disguise, and that Amazon could become Google 2.0, except not shit?
The only other company that could have benefited. The only other person who could have benefited from buying it, and I don't think they had the money, honestly, well, maybe, would be Valve. Instead of having Steam streaming, just slap Twitch right in there and merge the two into one Frankenstein.
Dude,
I don't think that's really...
But they didn't have any interest to do it.
Yeah.
They didn't have any interest for it. So Amazon took it.
What if... We're talking way in the future here.
Oh, God.
We're not like a buyout, like a total as equals merge of Steam and Amazon.
Can't.
I don't see
Monopoly.
it happening.
Not gonna happen.
I honestly don't see it happening.
Google, Amazon, and Steam will never intersect. It just can't happen. Well, that's why people were wondering about Twitch and Google.
Especially considering Steam and Amazon are currently competing marketplaces.
Yes.
So there's that. It's actually a healthier relationship that way because. Oh, it's not on sale on Steam. Oh, but I can buy it on Amazon for $10 cheaper, and I still get the Steam key? Okay.
And Google, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but I think there is Google Play. but it's not as convenient or as popular as the other two mediums.
Google Play is specifically focused on Android platform.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, what about us over here? Can't we be involved? It's like, no, you have all the advertisements. Go in your corner.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go take a bath in my money again.
Yeah, I mean, Google Play is really doing a big advertising push right now, and it's just kind of like, every time it's like, oh, it's another Google ad on a Google website. Go away, Google. I'm already on your freaking webpage.
Okay, are we ready for a subject change? Are we done with Amazon and Twitch?
We're starting to make jokes. I think we're done.
Okay, Carla, I need breaking news. I need breaking news music. This just in. New 3DS released with 2 nipples. Complete and utter bullshit ensues. Seriously.
Okay, here's the dumbest part. What are they calling it? The new Nintendo 3DS.
No.
Really? As opposed to the old Nintendo 3DS.
I don't even feel right making a joke about that just because it's so dumb.
Why don't they just call it the DS Advance? So we can knock off the 3 completely?
Because it still has the 3.
Who here is...
This is why I bought a 2DS, because it was cheaper and I didn't have to deal with the eye-crossing BS.
Well, no, here. Okay.
I know I do this a lot with referencing streamers and other YouTubers and whatever, but
go ahead, it's fine.
Who else here subscribes to JWits?
I do.
I don't.
Wait, no. Am I? I think I might be. I watch him even.
Not verbatim, but to take a quote from him, it is going to be face-palmingly hilarious, like 2 to 5 years from now, trying to walk into a GameStop or whatever equivalent exists in that barren future and asking the people if they have a used new DS.
But okay, jokes aside, guys, serious business here. I'm not sure if either of you know this. You know that there are going to be games that require the new 3DS, right?
Yeah. That's another thing that's rubbing me.
Xenoblade Chronicles port.
I just bought a $300 limited edition Pokemon 3DS XL only like less than a year ago. And now they want me to buy another console. And, oh hey, you should probably buy a $300 Wii U. Bullshit! No!
See, that's the nice thing. I already have a Wii U.
Well, yeah, but you're a father and you have kids. I mean, like, I'm a struggling college age kid. That's you realize that's like $900 to get a Wii U, to have a 3DS, and then get a 3DS new. We'll just call it the 3DS new. Can we call it the 3DS nipple? Let's call it
3DSN.
The DN. Can we call it the double nipple? Can we call it the DN? Please.
For the sake of a combination of brevity and dignity, we'll call it the 3DSN.
3DSN.
You said Brett, and I'm like, tell me he didn't just.
Okay, and for anyone who doesn't know, it's basically the same thing as a normal one, except I don't think it comes in XL, or I'm not sure if it's going to.
No, here's the other dumb thing. It has XL and small size.
There's two
different versions of this.
Okay, so it's relatively the same unit, right? Looks the same, everything. The 3D is better. If you tilt the screen, you can still see the 3D
motion
effect.
Tracking.
It doesn't get that weird. Yeah, it doesn't get that weird, whatever. And literally, there's 2 more bumper buttons. And then there's a little gray, what do they call it? Not a,
it's a nub.
What pad? It's like the little circle stick.
They're calling it the C-stick. Like the GameCube pad.
It's another little pad, like the circle pad to the left on the 3DS, but it's a tiny little. I'm not sure if you guys remember old laptops.
It's the joystick.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's exactly like those laptop nubs in the middle of the keyboard that they used to have.
Yeah, in the kids. Come get your milk and cookies, sit down, and let me tell you about how laptops used to be. There was no tracking pad for your finger. It was literally this little, almost foamy little nipple, and you would move it. It was like a little stick, like a gyro.
It was like a joystick, except it was tiny.
It was like a few centimeters tall, and you just move it, and it moved the move the mouse. It's that thing.
Except now they're expecting you to play video games on it.
And it's required. The fact that they're making games that require this new thing, like for some, I consider the 3DS came out along with the Pokemon games for me. That's when a lot of people bought new 3DSs, correct? Now they're coming out with this a year later. Yeah, you and me. That's when it started. Just like the Wii U is kind of just now. Like, these systems came out early, but they're just now picking up steam.
And you know why? Because Nintendo decided, hey, we need to get this hardware out as quickly as possible instead of waiting until they had the killer apps like Mario Kart and Smash.
Yeah.
And Pokemon.
But no, Smash is going to be for the old one, though.
But you can still play it on the new one.
Yeah, I mean, that's to be expected.
The 3DS new is still going to be able to play all of the 3DS old games.
I want to know, can the double nipple play normal DS games?
Probably.
I'm not going to let it go.
Probably.
Can it? Can they go 2 generations back? Because that's what it is. It's practically another...
Well, it's another handheld. It's going to be the same firmware. It's just going to have support for the extra buttons, the extra stick, and also it'll have the near field the NFC, the near field communication built into the touchscreen, so that you can basically use the amiibo figures that they're coming out with without the extra peripheral needed for it.
I don't like this at all. Oh, it's just
here's my thought. It's like, okay, if why did it take them until after the 2DS and the 3DS and the 3DS XL to come up with the idea of, gee, maybe we should have as many buttons as we have on our main console? There's a thought.
And everybody loses in this situation. If developers say, oh, hell no, and don't develop games for the newer version, Nintendo doesn't sell units. If developers do choose, like if all the new games are going to be on this new system, then we the consumers get screwed over.
Uh-huh.
It's like, oh my god, Nintendo, you just shot yourself in the foot.
I'm just glad that I didn't need another new piece of hardware to enjoy Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright.
Yeah.
Because... dear God, that was a beautiful game.
Like, could you imagine if Smash was for the new 3DS?
There would be riots in the streets.
Exactly. Or well, it would be the same thing. Everyone would get it for Wii U.
From what I've heard, there's a benefit to it.
To be fair, I'm getting both versions. I'm getting the 3DS version and I'm getting the Wii U version because I want that soundtrack that they're offering through Club Nintendo.
Okay. That seems like a waste of money.
Well,
how many tracks do you get?
It's 2 CDs.
Okay, that might be worth it, yeah.
So
but still.
So there's that. There's also the fact that you can actually interface the 3DS game and use it as a remote, like a separate remote controller with your own screen on the Wii U version. You can connect the two games together, and you can use the 3DS version as your own remote screen on the Wii U.
So yeah. Anything else, or do we just absolutely hate the idea and it's going to wreck the company?
I don't think I'm one of two minds about this, and I'm kind of flip-flopping back and forth. Either it was completely unnecessary and they should have just, it's completely unnecessary and they should have just kept with the hardware they already had, or they should have thought about these ideas when they were building the damn 3DS in the first place.
Or I sound like Seal. Just wait until you make a new handheld. Huh? Anybody?
Yeah.
Well,
anybody at all?
Somebody would argue. Well, my it's kind of like, okay, we went from the Game Boy Advance to the Game Boy Advance SP, but that was still a huge jump.
Yeah, it was backlit. It added a lot of stuff.
This adds 3 things: a pair of buttons, a stick, and an NFC reader. That's it.
Yeah. And the
none of those are necessary. None of those are something I want to be spending another $300 on. Probably more, because I would want to send it off to get freaking stream hardware installed.
This almost feels like the saga of Sega over again, except in reverse.
Yep.
instead of making all these peripherals and add-ons that stacks up to a giant plastic Christmas tree of horror, they just instead of a Christmas tree, it's an ocean of products to swim through.
I want to know.
I mean, that's the thing. There are way too many options now for someone who wants to buy one, and you're going to end up with analysis paralysis. Just try to pick your hardware.
I want to know who thought this was a good idea, though, because they were almost bankrupt. Remember? Does anyone remember when Nintendo might not live to see the light of next year?
Yeah.
Or back, a year ago or whatever. They were doing so well, they could have rode that all the way to the next console generation.
They should have,
and they could have been ahead.
But instead, they pulled this bullshit. Games. They should have been focusing on the games, not the hardware. The hardware was unnecessary.
A year ago, we were talking about the 2DS, and we were like, "Oh my god, this is a great, cheaper alternative." This thing that's coming out, it's not a cheaper alternative. It's even more of an investment. It does not improve. Like, it improves, but it's not worth the money.
It's too, for me, it's too minor of an iteration for it to be worth it.
Yes. I feel better now. I had to get that out. Between Arcade and this nonsense, I had to vent a little. Okay.
Arcade was your own damn fault, though. That had nothing to do with Nintendo.
I'm glad I talked it out. Now I actually want to play a little bit. I'm still put off a little bit by it, but now that I've actually talked it and I've realized what I did wrong, it's a Carta. Okay. It takes you at around like level 20, you get like 50 of those stars.
Back on.
I'm just intimidated. Like that time investment. I'm intimidated to go another 10, 20 levels just to get enough to buy something.
All I'm going to say.
Keep in mind, you're talking to someone who. You're talking to someone who's sunk so much time and money into World of Warcraft, primarily to play Pokemon and Farmville in World of Warcraft.
Me and Shane
Pandaria
plays Mabinogi. I know you've heard me and Shane talk about Mabinogi, but it was like our WoW. We dumped a lot of money into that, so I get it.
May I just say? In the time you spent being afraid of Arcade and not wanting to touch it, I started up a Western faction character on the new Khalil server with Susie and Josh, and we are now mid-20s. It doesn't take that long it doesn't take that long if you're just focusing on getting to that point, on leveling up and fighting stuff.
I got you. Maybe I'll make a new character.
And the combat's not that bad either.
Are we done?
Yes.
I think.
Back off of Arcade again.
We're done with 3DS. We're done with the ranty section. Okay. I don't think we're going to talk about the last item because I kind of threw it in there for the hell of it.
We touched a little bit on Smash and Pokemon.
We didn't really talk about the game Smash itself and Pokemon. I don't know.
I've been playing the demo a little bit here and there, and
what do you think? This is Smash, by the way, for anyone who didn't gather that new Smash game. Okay, go.
The Smash demo, it is Smash. Granted, you get the demo gives you 5 characters and 1 stage, but I'm optimistic about it because they did a very, very good job making Mega Man feel like Mega Man in Smash Brothers.
What about Wii Fit Trainer? Does she
she's not in the
curve
demo.
The right way?
She's not in the demo.
Does she flex
Sean,
as Trainer?
No,
she's not in the demo. The only characters, even if the CPU is running, the only characters are the 5 that are in the demo. It's Mario, Link, Pikachu, Villager from Animal Crossing, and Mega Man. Those are it.
So that's their hook, is try to
Don't even go.
Next Friday.
Don't.
October 3rd. I just don't know if I'm going to...
know what you're talking about.
I don't know if I'm going to get it right away, but I will be getting it eventually because I want that soundtrack. That's the main reason I'm buying the 3DS version, because that's the thing. I don't know if anybody... I don't know if any of you guys... I don't know if any of my old iLaserbeams buddies are even going to be getting the 3DS version. So,
I'd sooner get the 3DS version, I think. Because I don't have a Wii U.
Fair.
But I don't know. Then I might. Well, actually, I might not get it before Pokemon because I still haven't gotten my money's worth out of the current Pokemon game. I don't play it that much, but So yeah, I might get the 3DS version actually. But about actually criticizing the game itself and talking about like what it is, isn't the 3DS version like a little bit more clunky or pixelated or something, or is it literally like the same game just a little bit?
The 3DS version actually has cell shading options so that you can pick out characters from the background better.
Oh.
And you can remove that if you want, but you have options to like really bold it out to make the characters really pop into the foreground. Yeah. So,
as far as how well it handles, I've personally heard some mixed reviews. I've heard people like Pro Jared, who went to the convention preview and tried the demo there, say that it felt really fluid. It felt like classic Smash. It wasn't clunky. But then, I've heard on the other side of it, Justin Flynn on his stream, playing the demo, saying, yeah, it's a great game. He loves it, but it feels so clunky to play it on the DS.
Something I'd like to interject.
So I don't know what to think.
His 3DS has a recording deck shoved in the back, correct?
Possibly.
If he's streaming it, most likely.
Yeah, I mean,
because the alternative is rigging a freaking like webcam up to
which I've done before. It's not fun. It is not fun at all. You get scan lines or you get a pixel line straight through it. It's not fun. You can do it like if you just want to show something off, or if you're more concerned about subject material. But if you're trying to like have a spectacle, a little visually intensive live stream, webcams kind of suck.
There are some people who make it work.
Yeah, like I said, like good personalities or good commentary. And
there's one or two of the top-ish X and Y streamers on Twitch who don't have a capture card. Yeah, they just use webcam.
Cool. Does he get a gold star from Nintendo for not breaking into the machine and modifying it? That bugs me. Once Nintendo and other game companies are letting you stream straight from their stuff, right? Once Nintendo is like, here's a USB port on the 3DS. Yeah. Go in peace, brethren. I'm gonna be like, thank you.
Here's what bugs me the most about that. What? When asked about the whole streaming thing, Nintendo was like, well, we make our games so that you play them, not so that you watch them. So, we don't think that people...
They said what?
No, I'm not joking. You want me to look up the actual quote?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we want to be professional.
Yeah, let me find the quote on.
Talk while you type, because I still want to hear your version of this.
Basically,
said what?
Basically, what I got from the quote, and this is from Reggie himself. Okay, he basically said that they felt that games are to be played, and that you don't want to just watch someone play a game. Well, ignoring the whole fact that a lot of these people who are being watched on Twitch and such are not, the viewers are not there for the game as much as they are for the personality playing the game.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. It's from Polygon. I actually don't follow the news sites after this whole Gamergate thing went through, and most of these...
That's something we probably should have talked about, but I don't know anything about that, but I kind of don't want to. I don't think we're going to touch that.
People being a-holes on the internet is what it all boils down to. On all sides, people have been a-holes, and...
Maybe we can do a side thing where you talk me through it.
The biggest problem is that the people... people are trying to blame the actions of the people being jerks on misogyny, sexism, anything except people not taking responsibility for what they say or do on the internet. That's what it all boils down to. People are not willing to take responsibility these days. And I'm sounding like old man Carter here, but that's just how it is.
You and a lot of other people.
It is... The simple fact is it has nothing whatsoever to do with sexism. It has everything to do with the fact that people have this tendency to, I have an audience, I have anonymity, I'm going to be a complete pile of shit.
Actually,
you saw that picture,
and
too?
I don't swear freely, so I actually mean it.
I'm getting the feeling you saw that picture, too.
I was almost going to cut this conversation off, but
the greater internet F1 theory.
But you know what this reminds me of? Can I?
It's an old Penny comic. It's been around for years.
No. What this made me think of about the whole people not taking responsibility for themselves is kind of like, you know, the whole swatting thing. We won't get into that. I'm sure people will know about it. It's when, you know, people will, you know, prank, call the police, use an address impersonate a streamer.
That.
So basically trick the police to barge in on a streamer and, you know, arrest them or whatever.
Because if they get a threat, they have to act on it.
Exactly. Let me continue. What this whole, you know, taking responsibility thing made me realize is the FBI has actually been cracking down on the swatting cases, and a 16-year-old, or was he 18, or just like, he barely, like, within the, you know, they charged him as an adult, got sent away to prison for, like, God knows how long. He's just crying and bawling his eyes out. It's like, yeah, that's what you get. That's taking responsibility for your actions.
Someone who called in a fake report?
Yes, they tracked him down. He was like 16 to 18, somewhere within that window. Got charged. I'm not sure if that kind of crime, if it would be juvenile versus adult or whatever, but yeah, he is in prison right now.
It's a waste of police resources over something over something that is basically like, I don't like you, I'm going to make your life miserable for a few hours.
No, and he was even telling the judge, like, oh, I was just trying to be funny, it was a prank. It's like that what I'm trying to say here is, I think that's a good example of people need to start taking, you know, responsibility for their actions. It kind of ties in a little bit.
Because it's so easy not to when you're on the internet.
Yeah, I mean the whole swatting thing has kind of made us open. Well, us sane people, I don't know about people doing it, but it kind of makes you open your eyes and go, "Oh yeah, we do have to be human beings, because if we fuck up, that could happen. Oh no," you know.
Yeah.
Not to say you're gonna get thrown in prison for, you know, being sexist or whatever. It's just, do you get what I'm trying to? The comparison I'm trying to draw here.
Yeah.
People have gotten too used to treating other people on the internet like NPCs in a video game.
Yes.
Yep. That's it in a nutshell.
And this is another segue. Treating personalities or people who, you know, put themselves out there for entertainment's sake like objects. Because actually, through this whole thing,
like Notch?
Yeah, exactly. I forgot about that. Let's not talk later.
Next episode, we can cover that.
Maybe, but you gotta feel through all this. Something we have to realize: you kind of have to feel bad for Hollywood stars, because that's kind of the BS that they go through.
Yeah, except
if you think about it.
Well, here's
YouTube, and this.
Here's the thing about Hollywood, though. They have the filter of the paparazzi and the tabloids between themselves and the public, unless they choose to make themselves openly available to the public through whatever social media they use. Whereas most of the people most of the game dev celebrities like Notch, they don't have that filter. Yes. And that's why it gets so bad for them.
I will write that down for another episode. Notch.
We can cover the entire Minecraft melodrama.
To Microsoft. Yeah, that would take another hour.
We can just do an entire episode on just the Minecraft melodrama that's been going on over the past few months.
Yeah, that's a lot. You and me can rally up some topics. Anyway, getting back on track.
I found the quote from Reggie on on Nintendo and streaming, just in case anybody's
gonna be good.
Completely lost the train of thought, because we kind of have. Okay. This week, and this is from an article back in June, this week, Nintendo of America president Reggie Fils-Aimé told Polygon that any decision on a streaming service would be driven by the company's philosophical approach to all of its content. It has to be fun. And from Nintendo's perspective, streaming live gameplay just isn't. We don't think streaming 30 minutes of gameplay by itself is a lot of fun.
Oh, bullshit.
When asked about whether Twitch could come to the Wii U. And here's the thing. That has nothing to do with it, because I wonder when Nintendo actually looks at these streams, do they actually have the streams muted or something?
They probably don't watch them to begin with. Okay,
they have the idea.
Just for research purposes, I'm saying.
I have to apologize. I'm gonna do it again. Referencing another YouTuber.
That's fine.
Great guy. Don't know him personally. Wish I did. Gaijin Goomba.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He did a rant video. Well, not exactly a rant. It wasn't one of his like rage videos, but just
he was monologuing.
I want to link to that video later.
I think the title was like, "Does Japan really get us?" or something like that. Just talking about how not being racist at all. It's the sad truth that Japan in general, exceptions existing, of course, but Japan in general has a very closed-minded attitude towards the rest of the world. They're not like North Korea, God forbid, to where they are just total iron fortress pointing guns at everyone in a circle around them. But, they're friendly. We've gotten over the whole World War II thing. It's done and over with. Everybody can stop that hating. But even though they're not hostile about it, except for the assholes that every country has, they just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are focused on themselves and their own country for the most part.
Their culture is very insular, which in turn is it's causing problems. I mean, you have like entire like social scenarios, like people who literally never leave their apartment ever. They apartment dwelling shut in to the extreme, to the point where they never ever leave their room. They do everything
online. In America too, though.
Yes, but at the same time, this is like it's like almost I hesitate to use disease related terminology, but it's sort of an epidemic.
Hold up. We are getting too much into stereotypes. It's more of a culture thing, not a specific case-by-case thing. Their cultural mindset is focused in their country. They are not, and a lot of their companies aren't international mindset. I think GG's comparison with Sony is so international. Like, they are concerned about what's going on everywhere. Japan is just worried about, or Nintendo is just worried about, Japan first, and and we can make money off of everybody else by outsourcing. With a few
exceptions, exceptions always abound.
Yeah.
See, that's why I was trying to phrase it the way I did. I know I was taking pains to say it the way I did, because there are always exceptions. There are a lot of cool people in Japan who are just as interested in us as we are interested in them.
That's a case-by-case.
Two words: Keiji Inafune.
Yeah,
he's
a cool guy.
He is very, aware and cognizant of, the fact that we're kind of different over in America, but that's okay. You can still make games that are good for both audiences.
Game Freak too. They've been making strides.
I just honestly feel
it's something that not a lot of people think about, because over here on the West, it's something that's second nature to us. Just speaking from our group, does anybody realize? Has anybody stopped to really think how much of a message it really was that two things happened with Pokemon X and Y? One, that a Japanese company bothered to do a simultaneous worldwide release, and two, the end credits of the game being in every single language they support. Yeah, that's a big deal. Cool. Because
can I point out
most Japanese companies don't care. It's not meant to be racist or anything, but most.
I just wanted to point out number 3 in that list, the fact that the region in X and Y was based on France, not a part of Japan like every other core Pokemon game has been.
Black and White and Black and White 2 was apparently based on New York in the U.S.
I'm gonna have to call BS on that.
It wasn't as true of a comparison as like the Japanese regions were, but it was there.
Yep. But just wrapping up a little bit, I think overall though, this is actually drawing off of one of Gigi's videos, because he taught over there. He was like an English teacher for Japanese students, and he talked about how they just did not care. And one of the teachers, like his co-teacher, who was, native to Japan, pulled him over and he said,
when he was in the middle of a lecture, no less.
Yeah, pulled him over and said, "You realize these kids do not care. They will never leave the island. They are not concerned with anything outside of this, out of our country."
Yeah,
and I think that's the common.
You are boring them. You need to stop and do something.
That's a common mentality just with, I think, over there is, they're more about their culture and stuff. And actually, I was a little nervous when you mentioned the whole World War II thing, Shane, but I think that on top of the past, I honestly don't think a lot of people are over it. I think because we're so international and we're trying to keep up with all of the events, I've had some bad experiences with people from over there. They are a little edgy towards us over here, I think deep down.
Yeah, in the reverse,
resentment still.
Rightfully so,
but I mean, it's been, we've tried to get over it, and we've tried to, bond as countries.
There are assholes in every country of the world. There were people who, when the tsunami hit Japan, were saying, "Serves them damn well right" for Pearl Harbor.
That's effed up so much.
Forget that we dropped 2 atomic bombs on their country as our retaliation within the time period. No, now it's finally that the tsunami is their retribution for Pearl Harbor. Excuse me?
Those are people who just don't know how to let go.
Exactly.
My only statement is, I think
they're in every country. Every country has their assholes.
My statement is, I think that just contributes towards that reclusive, mentality or stance that they have, and they might be a little, hostile towards us still a little bit, and rightfully so. I'm just saying, I think it's going to take more time, and I think maybe through these upcoming years, maybe they will become a little more internationally, when it comes to business sense. Because of that, because slowly things will equalize and maybe they'll be a bit more open. It's just, it hasn't happened yet.
They're going to have to. I hate to keep saying this because I don't want to be comparing the two countries. I know that they are a far cry from each other, but just saying potential, you don't want Japan to end up like North Korea. We like them too much. They're cool people. We don't want that.
Well, you can tell you can tell we are, we here in the States are perfectly fine with Japan. We helped them rebuild the country that we helped to wreck.
Yeah.
Because we felt bad.
Yeah.
We done fucked up, but we've tried our best to try and make amends. I'm just saying, Oh, that dipped into politics. That was deep. It was deep. I don't know. I'm just, and just to finish up, I just think because, they are more reclusive. Maybe time is a funny thing to where it passes differently for different people, And maybe for them, they're still, still iffy about, the whole West thing.
Well, it's just the thing is, I mean, getting back to what Shane was saying, they have a really insular mindset, and it's actually starting to cause serious problems. I mean, they are, their entire culture is going to die out for the simple fact that they don't have anybody, actually having kids over there. The average age in Japan is just climbing and climbing and climbing. Just overall, the average age of the population, they are getting old as a country because there's not enough people having kids because they've kind of bought into the whole, we can just be friends thing.
Yeah.
It's just, it's like, what can you do? They're not.
I always joked around though. I always joked around saying that there would probably never be a war between America and U.S. Shit.
We kind of already had that.
America and Japan. Well, yeah, that's Civil War. America and Japan. Like when I was little, I'm like, that'll never happen because we have anime. And It's kind of true. No youth in this country would want to take up arms against Japan unless it was absolutely necessary. Because of anime and video games. It has bonded us, the two countries, together, in my opinion. It's pretty funny if you think about it. We're digressing. What were we even talking about? Oh, Smash. That's what we were talking about.
Smash and Pokemon, yeah.
Yeah. What about Pokemon? Can we say anything about it? It's just more Pokemon. Alpha and Sapphire, Sapphire and Ruby rebooted,
and there's some cool new stuff.
I'm kind of ticked off that you gotta buy it. I think where I was going with that is I'm ticked off that it's not a straight up remake, and that they added more.
Kind of is though.
It seems kind of like too new. Like it seems more like a brand spanking new game. So close again, 1 year after. The release of the.
But how so?
Last Pokemon game.
What makes it feel so new and disconnected for you?
Well, there's a new story. They're doing the whole adding Megastones. It's like it feels like I have to buy it, and it feels like it's one of the main titles instead of just a reboot.
They've said that it's the same story. They are just trying to add in the Mega Evolution thing as an aside.
Oh, I thought it was like a years later thing.
The main story of the game is still Magma versus Aqua.
Yeah, but they changed all the characters. I thought it was supposed to be like years later.
They reskinned them. They redesigned them because the old ones were bland and plain.
Is what's his name? The Aqua boss still the same guy?
Yeah, it's still Maxie and Archie.
Oh, I thought there was like a girl leading Team, I almost called him Team Lava.
No, I think they have
Team Magma.
The admin. There are male and female admins.
Gotcha.
But not the leaders.
Okay then. I know. I guess my complaint is it seems like way too much. I don't know. That's just a me thing. Like I think it's kind of too soon for a game of that magnitude to add so much new stuff. Because now I feel like I have to buy it, and no, I don't want to buy it. It's like, oh god.
Well, I'm actually kind of okay with it for the simple fact that X and Y just did not feel like they had nearly enough end game content, and I think that having the Battle Frontier back is going to fix that quite a bit.
How does it? Well, there's Battle Maison, but how does it work? This is another thing I don't understand. X and Y was supposed to be like the hub game, right? How does it work crossing over with, I'll just call them, Ruby and Sapphire?
There are two theories right now that are being speculated. One is either that there is still data left in X and Y that hackers, for whatever reason, have not been able to touch that already contains data for the stuff that they had planned to release in ORS. Like the new Mega Evolutions and stuff, so that you can trade it back.
Like or Mega Latios.
Or that the one that I'm hoping for is that they are going to prove all of the cynics wrong and have a patch, which would be cool.
They've done it already, twice.
That as weird as it sounds, like I like the idea of adding more Megastones and stuff. It's just as weird as it sounds. The one franchise I would like this to happen with, I really wanted Pokemon to be DLC based from now on. Like every, couple of years, you buy the core game or like whenever there's a new console generation, and then they just patch and DLC the crap out of the core game.
They've said they don't want to make it to where you have to feel like you have to pay money to catch them all. They said that that's never been...
As if you don't already.
Yeah, you gotta buy both versions, and
there's a difference between that and because I mean technically you can only ever buy you can potentially buy one copy of one gen and still trade with people to get everything. Is still a possibility.
I hadn't thought of it from that angle before. Fine. I can, but I'm still not sure I agree with it, but I at least see where they're coming from now.
I mean, patching in new content, hey, I'd be okay with that. But they've specifically said they don't want you to feel like you have to pay $5 for, the latest legendary or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know.
They're okay with making them. They're okay with making them timed exclusives.
Does anyone want to talk about some of the specific in-game things, like some of the new megas? Anybody interested in that, or
can
not
we
really?
Can we bang out a list really quick? We're at the 2-hour mark. My stomach is dying. I want to know. I saw like Mega Sharpedo and a whole bunch of cool stuff. Can you like rattle them off one by one, and we'll go like we'll do a lightning round with megas.
They're paying respects to the Aqua and Magma leaders, their star Pokemon, Mega Camerupt, Mega Sharpedo.
Oh no, pull up the mega list. Or do you have a list open?
Geez, hold on.
Grab a list and we'll just go through them.
I'm on Cerebi right now. Let me see if I can find a list.
You check Cerebi, I'll check Bulbapedia, because sometimes their lists of new stuff that hasn't come out yet are different.
Okay, I got it.
You got it? Okay, what's first on the list?
Well, we already had Mega Blaziken. So Sceptile and Swampert are getting megas.
Didn't you say Sceptile was a little
I thought it was at first because of the ability. They gave it Lightning Rod. You know what Lightning Rod does, right?
I kind of remember, but
it makes you a literal lightning rod for electric attacks. But as of the new generations, it also makes you immune, because it was kind of weird. They had some water types like Seaking that had it, and they just killed themselves. But no, they made it to where it gives you electric immunity. I'm thinking, why would you give a type immunity to a Pokemon that's already 4 times resistant as a part grass, part dragon? Until I realized, oh wait, Lightning Rod gives you a special attack boost when it goes off. They're designing it to be, either doubles focused or like a singles pivot, where you can switch it in on a electric attack, or pair it next to something that's weak to electric to absorb it.
What's Swampert's new ability, or Mega Swampert's ability?
Swift Swim.
That's kind of bad. Okay, next.
Mega Slowbro.
Oh, I want Mega Slowking. I want that majestic freaking hair so badly. But Mega Slowbros are kind of cool. What abilities get?
Shell Armor.
Makes it immune to critical hits, so it becomes a better tank.
I still want a Slowking. Special attack. If it was the crap out of everything.
I've thought of running a Slowbro on a team before. I just kind of like the Regenerator ability. I'd personally prefer that, but I can see where they were going with that. Shell Armor's okay.
I don't like it.
Did you see the visuals for Mega Slowbro, by the way?
Yeah, it's adorable. I love what it looks like. I just don't like what it does.
It looks like it's getting devoured.
You spin me right round, baby, right round.
Anyway, Mega Sableye.
That thing looks cool. I don't know what it does. What's his ability?
They're
giving it Magic Bounce.
What happened? Okay, Magic Bounce is like when you use a special ability, it like bounces.
Magic Bounce is whenever
at the user.
Whenever you know how certain status type moves aren't actually like status conditions. It's just anything that doesn't strictly deal damage. Some are like boosting moves. They're personal, self-target. Some are enemy target, like Will-O-Wisp, Toxic, Swagger, Confuse Ray, that whole thing.
Yeah.
Magic Bounce negates enemy targeted status moves targeted at you, and then reflects them back at the user. Mega Absol has it, and it can be brutal.
This is why I wonder...
Except they're giving it to a Pokemon that's known for being a defensive beast that is getting a stat buff for being Mega, and as its base, its normal ability, it's hidden but still normal, is Prankster. And remember, turn order is determined before Mega Evolutions go off.
Oh god, no.
So people are thinking that you could do like a tanky damage build instead of just a straight status stall tank, to where like the first turn you get a Prankster boosted Calm Mind or something like that. Get 1 guaranteed stat boost on your Mega. But then for that turn, even though it got the benefit of Prankster to go first, for the duration of the turn it gets Magic Bounce. So then you have a tank that can't be statused. And it just wrecks.
This is why I wondered like what would happen if you could have more than one Mega. Just have like Mega Absol and Mega Sableye, and just be like.
Well, you could do it in a multi battle. You could have one person with Mega Absol.
Oh yeah, we should do that. Yes. Next.
It's
really quick. Does it lose one? Does it lose its typing when it Mega Evolves?
No, it keeps the Dark Ghost.
Oh, thank God. Okay. Next.
Mega Sharpedo and Camerupt.
I'm interested about this. Like, what abilities do they get?
Mega Sharpedos is
not Swift Swim.
Almost useless. It's thematically fitting, but it's weird. It gets Strong Jaw, to where bite and fang type moves get boosted. The thing is, the only moves that it learns, period, including egg moves that get the Strong Jaw boost, are Bite, Crunch, and Ice Fang. Nobody ever runs Ice Fang. Bite is inferior to Crunch, and Crunch okay, so it gets a boost to that. One thing I have heard people say is that you could have a regular Sharpedo with speed boost, keep it on the field for a few turns to let it build up speed boost, and then Mega Evolve to get the stat buffs and stuff.
Yeah, but it could be killed in those few turns.
But then if you ever switch it out and then switch it back in, it doesn't have speed boost anymore.
What about Camerupt?
It's a risk. You're going to like this. You remember what Sheer Force does? Nidoking and Steelix have it.
I should know this. I'm a Steelix owner.
Any attacking move that has a secondary effect like status has that negated.
I know. It takes it away. It takes it away and deals more damage. Yes.
Mega Camerupt has Sheer Force.
Oh my God! So like all the fire moves just take away the
flamethrower, fire blast, earth.
Oh, that's so good. Why would you?
Like its fire type moves wouldn't be able to burn you anymore. They just obliterate you off the face of the planet.
Cold flame. Cold flame.
Consider this, though. Mega Camerupt. That's the Team Magma admin's star player.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be facing that before you get to use it.
Just like Sharpedo with Team Aqua.
But here's the thing. Mega Sharpedo is so much crappier than that. It's like that's not even a comparison.
You didn't.
I know. I love Blue. I Team Aqua for life, but I love Sharpedo. But
I'm a Team Magma. I'm a Team Magma fan.
Obviously, we always pick the opposite.
Don't you be dissing my dark types.
But seriously, it's like that's no comparison.
Moving
on.
onward.
We have to test this. We have to. The only thing is, water beats fire or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
but like we have to test this.
Even better. Mega Camerupt's fire ground.
Well, regular Camerupt is fire.
No.
It's 4 times weak to water.
Oh wait, no, that's a good thing, right? Because water beats. Why did I think ground beat water? That was dumb.
Next item on the list. Oh God, this is a funny
Mega Altaria.
Mega Altaria.
It's so fluffy, I'm gonna die.
It goes from being dragon flying to dragon fairy, which I think is actually pretty interesting.
Cool. And it gets Pixelate.
That's the one thing I don't like. It's what is it with them and sticking Pixelate on fairy type megas, especially when the only normal type moves they can really get any use out of are Round, Hyper Voice, Echoed Voice, and Hyper Beam.
What does that do again?
Pixelate turns normal type moves into fairy type moves and gives them a damage buff on top of same type attack bonus.
Right.
I mean, it's not that it's bad, it's just every Pokemon that gets Pixelate has the same pool of moves to make use of Pixelate.
Well, that's next on the list.
Mega Salamence.
Oh, the spaceship!
Yeah, a.k.a. Mega Galaga.
Yeah. A.k.a. Rebel Alliance symbol.
Yeah. It gets Aerialate, Mega Pincers ability that turns normal type moves into flying type.
Normal moves into flying. Oh, that's kind of neat. Well, that's just Pixelate or whatever.
It's flying type version of Pixelate.
Keep in mind what that does. That makes normal moves strong against fighting types.
Well, wait. Well, no. But flying beats fighting. So
the reason they did it is because regular non-Mega Salamence doesn't have a whole lot of good flying type stabs.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, the next one. Mega Eggman.
What?
Mega Metagross.
Oh, right. Mega. Wait, is it only going to be an exclusive? That's why I feel pressured.
They're just having a giveaway event for it.
No, can you get the stone in the game? That's what I'm worried about.
Yes.
Okay. I don't have to buy the game now. Continue.
People are already calling it, and normally I don't follow hype trains, but I'm inclined to believe it. This thing is going to be broken as shit.
Why? What does it do?
First of all, it gets the ability Tough Claws. Contact moves get a damage boost.
No.
Second, it's getting a boost to its already sky-high attack. It's probably not going to be a big one, but it's getting an attack boost. It's getting
boost to attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and a huge speed buff.
Isn't that every stat?
The only two stats it was ever lacking in were special defense and speed. Special defense you could kind of fix with an assault vest. Assault vest Metagross is pretty cool, but its speed was its only big drawback. Unless you did like an Automize, some sort of gimmicky speed buff thing, which was cool. It worked. Now this thing just straight up gets more speed with Tough Claws on top of a Pokemon that before it Mega Evolved was already tanky as fuck.
It was one of my favorite Pokemon, actually.
Also,
that was one of my top.
Guess whose it is?
Gym leader.
Stevens.
No. Oh, your rival.
The champion!
It was my top, if you could have a Pokemon in real life, what would you have? I want a Metagross, just ride around on it.
Yeah, you remember how, what's her name? Diantha had her Mega Gardevoir. Steven's got Mega Metagross.
That takes the fun out of it though, because now we know. Like with Diantha, it's like, oh shit, she's the champion. Oh shit, she has a Mega,
Dude, it's a remake.
I know. I'm just saying. I hope that's not a trope. I don't hope it becomes like, oh, the rival is always going to have the. The champion is always going to have the Mega.
They're supposed to be the current strongest Pokemon trainer in the region before your character comes along. Why not have a Mega?
Mix it up. Make a different character. Make it to where you think, oh, this is going to be like the the other Mega user for the game, and then you get to the champion. It's like, oh, they're a Mega user too. They're going to have to fade this in to where it's more common eventually.
It seems like they're going that route with Archie and Maxie.
Hold on to that thought. Let's keep going.
Okay. Next.
Mega Lopunny.
Oh yeah! Wait, no. Is it Lopunny? Oh, Baneri into Lopunny. Yeah, Mega Lopunny.
Yeah, congratulations, Sean. Your waifu got a Mega.
Everybody was cock fighting.
Literally, in this case, it goes from pure normal to normal fighting, which is kind of weird, but kind of cool, actually. And it gets scrappy. This
does.
Normal and fighting type moves ignore ghost type's immunity to them.
Oh.
This thing can literally roundhouse kick a Gengar in the face. Literally.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Next up.
Hold on. Didn't it have stat weaknesses though? Wasn't Lopunny kind of meh in the stat department?
It's getting highly boosted attack and speed.
This thing, from what they've said, it sounds like it's going to be a glass cannon full offense physical sweeper, which, might I add, is one of the few things that could potentially wreck a Mega Sableye. The reason why Sableye and Spiritomb, the dark ghost mixes, are so strong is because of that ghost type immunity. If they lose their immunity to fighting, this thing's gonna hurt.
Okay. Next, Carta.
Next, Mega Seto Kaiba.
What?
Mega Gallade.
Oh, right. Mega Gallade. I was wondering when this was gonna happen.
Its ability is a little bit underwhelming, but I think that's partly just because people had expectations. It gets inner focus, so it can't flinch.
Oh.
Which is kind of a cool thematic thing if you think about it, like this knight in shining armor hero.
Screw flinching, I have green hair.
What does it look like? I don't have pictures up in front of me. Describe it for people. No, describe it. This is an audio podcast. You have to describe everything. Like what changes? Does it lose the weird
of a cape thing?
It gets cape wings.
Does it lose the ball that is its everything?
The what?
Its body is just like a sphere, or its nether regions are just one gigantic.
It retains that, if that's what you're talking about.
Oh, shit!
I know maybe you can put a picture of this up on the screen when you do the video, but I just want to send. I want to send this to you.
I'll at least describe it to the best of my ability.
I know your top 3 megas are going to be Metagross, Gallade, and Lopunny. This thing.
It looks cool. Okay, so it's more white. The blades on its arms extend and become kind of more serrated, and they're red, kind of the color of its eyes. It loses the green, it's all white. The cape is kind of like white and blue, and it's like split halfway down the middle, so it kind of looks wing-ish.
May I just say, the animation for when it goes mega is awesome.
What happens?
Do you remember Bass from Mega Man?
Yes.
It's like that. He
has the coat all the way around him, and then he tosses it off.
When the little mega orb shatters, he's just standing there, like half hunched with his head down, flings open the cape with the blade arms extending. It looks
that
so cool.
So majestic.
Also, that is used by Wally.
He doesn't have a Gardevoir anymore. That I found really weird.
Well, it makes sense because they didn't introduce Gallade until Gen 4, and so now they're
just like
it works.
It was just kind of strange to hear at first, because it was like so iconic of being his thing.
Well, Diantha kind of literally stole that show. Next, or is that it?
There's 2 more.
Wait, isn't one of them Mega Explode or whatever it's called?
No, it's Audino.
What? Seriously? I thought Mega, or, what's it called? Explode? I don't know the highest. Yeah, Explode. I thought, Explode was gonna get a Mega.
It might yet. Some people are saying it might be one of the yet-to-be-revealed Megas. But, no, not yet. Okay.
So, what's, second to last?
Mega Audino. It becomes normal fairy instead of just pure normal. And, I don't know if it gets or retains the ability healer. It's a double battles focus thing to where it has like a 50% chance each turn to cure its ally's status if it has one.
Wasn't Audino in like black and white introduced?
It's a 5th gen that got a Mega.
Huh. That's interesting that they throw it in there. They're kind of sticking to Ruby and Sapphire, Pokemon. It seems. Interesting. And what about the last one?
Mega Diancie.
Oh, this nonsense.
Diancie, the mythical that you're going to want to go to GameStop for because
you can only get it from GameStop, right? And
because it's a code, you can't just download it. Apparently, they got this thing with codes now instead of actually using Wi-Fi like we've been using for the past 2 gens.
I have to buy something from GameStop?
No, you can get it for free.
You just have to go to GameStop.
You have to go into GameStop and you have to actually talk to somebody and try to get and that gives them the chance to sell you on a pre-order.
Well, not just that, they might be like, "Oh no, we're only giving those to customers." That
they can't do that. No,
if they tell you that, they are lying, and you should basically
report them. But
report them to Nintendo or whatever.
It doesn't involve carbing? Seriously?
No, Diancie is a straight up download.
Well, there is a theory that if they go the patching route and they actually patch the games, they will hook things up mechanically to where Carbink evolves into Diancie, and then it won't be a legendary anymore. That's one theory.
Or it could just be the first legendary to get a, evolutionary line.
It's just so weird to add in a Pokemon and immediately add in its Mega. It's like, what is Diancie anyway? I don't even know what I'm comparing the Mega to.
That's the big mystery. People, people don't know yet. If you mean like lore-wise, what is it supposed to?
No, like statistically, what does it do?
It's a very tanky rock. It's like I think it is exactly like Carbink, except its offensive stats get a 50-point boost.
The mega form is Rock Fairy and has Magic Bounce.
I wonder if we're going to have to. I wonder if we're gonna have to take our Carbinks and put them in pressure cookers to make them evolve. Or pressure chambers, you know.
PETA would like to have a word with you.
That's horrible.
Pressure cooker. No, but yeah.
God.
Supposedly, Mega Diancie is regular Diancie is basically a Carbink with more defensive stats or offensive stats and only one ability. I think it just has Clear Body. It can't have Sturdy or anything.
Wasn't there 2 other unreleased Pokemon along with Diancie? Like one was like fire.
We'll get to those in a minute.
Okay.
Mega Diancie gets a further buff to its offensive stats. It actually takes a hit from its defenses just by a little, and then gets more speed too. So this thing is going to be more of a powerhouse than a tank. And it gets Magic Bounce.
We should make a Magic Bounce team. Oh, we could do triples. Can't you do 3v3 triples? Isn't that a thing now?
I don't know.
I think you can. I call the pink one. I call it DNC. Shane gets Absol. And you get Sableye.
In addition to the ones that we mentioned, Groudon and Kyogre are getting
Groudon.
Whatever. Primal reversions, which are basically like mega.
Yeah, what is that shit?
Mega de-evolutions, I guess.
It's
what?
Okay,
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that, Carta?
I apologize for the car.
Hold on. Carta, can you repeat that?
Mega de-evolutions.
Again?
Why?
No, they call it
slower and more sensually.
Primal reversions.
Damn it!
Okay, mechanically, it's exactly the same as Mega Evolution. Lore-wise, the idea is that in the time that Kyogre and Groudon were asleep and dormant before being woken up during the X and Y storylines, they were dormant so long that they got rusty in a sense. They lost some of the power that they had because they were asleep so long. It's like almost like their bodies and their powers deteriorated while they were asleep. So the forms that we faced in the original Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald were their old man forms. Now we get to revert them back to how they were in the days of old when they were actually walking around raising and destroying continents.
But like, what is this going to mean for like meta? Is it just Megas disguised as something else?
Well, probably.
Keep in mind they each get abilities that will effectively wreck house.
But no, seriously, from a lore perspective,
Desolate Land is what Groudon gets.
Which does?
It basically evaporates water moves.
Okay, their abilities are very similar to the traditional weather effects, except
they're uber powered.
Groudon's is labeled as extreme harsh sunlight, to where in addition to the normal sunlight effects, it cannot be canceled out by any other weather-causing move or ability.
Except for Groudon's.
Except for Kyogre's. Like, your opponent sends in a Tyranitar. Tough shit. No sandstorm for you. There's still sunlight. Well, and instead of just weakening the powers of the opposite type, it negates them. If you have a primal Groudon out on the field, your opponent tries to use Surf, their move literally evaporates and does nothing.
What happens if they fight each other?
Then you go back to the
moves
classic.
Take turns. Their abilities take I've actually read this. People have said that basically the move will take effect like each turn, so they'll cancel each other out.
Oh no.
So wait, so it's not like
they can't fight each other physically, it's impossible.
So it's not like when Ruby and Sapphire first came out, the whole drought versus drizzle thing was whoever was slowest stayed in effect. Now they flip-flop back and forth.
That's what I've heard. I don't know if it's accurate.
Yeah, that seems a bit shaky. But seriously,
that would be cool.
You know what's going to happen though.
The problem with that is, okay, so you've got, so it cancels out water moves, which is great, except that means when it gets canceled out, because let's see, Primordial Sea is Kyogre's, creates the heavy rain weather, renders fire type moves useless.
There is one caveat to that though. They do have, like, not even just a small drawback. It is a weakness to their abilities. It's not like regular drought and drizzle to where it persists. They have to be on the field.
Until the Pokemon exits battle.
As soon as you switch them out, it returns back to normal weather.
But seriously,
so that is one thing.
This is something that's been bugging me as you guys have been talking about this. It's more about the lore side of things. You know what's going to happen is Groudon will get the blue sphere, Kyogre will get the red sphere, and they basically just act like Mega Stones. It's the same mechanic. They're just calling it something different.
But
what the hell is the point?
Because that's, in a sense, what people want. Some people find that kind of cool.
What, just to rename Mega Evolutions? It's Primordial Evolution. It's just a Mega.
Well, think about it.
It's because these are the not counting Diancie, these are the first pre-existing legendaries to get Mega forms.
Well, no, Mewtwo, the birds.
Mewtwo was created,
and the birds didn't get Megas.
Oh yeah, like Mew hasn't. Oh yeah, the birds don't have Megas yet, but yeah, Mew. Oh, I see what you're saying.
These are the first. To use lore terms, Pokemon of Legends getting the equivalent of Mega forms.
But still, on a less lore note, as far as just the game's legendary Pokemon, Mewtwo did get a Mega, and it was just a Mega Stone. I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with them just renaming, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. It's just Mega Evolution. We're just calling it something different. But say that from the get-go.
They want to hype people up for it. And they're not.
People will be disappointed when it's something different.
Anyone with half a brain can see what it is. Okay, fine. Let's do a bit of role reversal here because it's already happening. If you really want to pull a page out of one of my books and be a starchy mechanics-focused person and strip it down to just a mechanics level, it's their Mega forms. They Mega evolve.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
If you do actually care. If you still have some of that child left in you who cares a little bit about the lore of the game, you learn what the red orbs and blue orbs are. They're not just these weird things that came out of nowhere and they use them to wake up Kyogre and Groudon. Well, why? Because they are these stones that resonate with them. They're their Mega Stones.
Mm-hmm. Archie and they're the hip versions.
Before they even knew what they were, Archie and Maxie used Kyogre and Groudon's Mega Stones to wake them up. Mm. And then, once they actually physically get a hold of the stones, shit hits the fan.
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what it is.
I'm just curious how... I want to know what happens when they fight. Because in the original, wasn't it that it made some weird thunderstorm that did neither? There was a weird visual effect when both of them fought.
No, it was if Kyogre happened, or if Groudon happened to be faster than Kyogre due to stat investments and stuff, Drought would go off first, and then Kyogre, because it was slower, its ability would play in second, and the rain would be in instead. But the normal case, because Groudon is naturally slower than Kyogre, it would be that the sun would persist because Groudon came second.
I think there should be some epic chaos storm that no, you know what it does? It just everyone on the field a slow burn, elementless burn, just damage each turn. It's the energies are too much, reality is collapsing. Oh, that would be beautiful. Anyway,
but the only time that would ever happen would be if you specifically had Primal Groudon versus Primal Kyogre, and they would.
I know.
The only point to that would be to burn each other down.
Yeah, that's the point. It would be epic.
Anyway, yeah, I get where you're going with that.
We've been going for 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Are we done?
I think we've pretty much covered everything we were going to cover.
We got all the megas. We talked about the new 3DS. We talked about Twitch and Amazon, Steam Creation, a little bit of ArtGage. I hope you guys had a good time. What about you guys? Eh? Are we ready to bring this back? Maybe.
I totally am. I have missed this.
It's so much fun. I just like talking. Sorry, no, that came out wrong. I'm sorry, that came out wrong. I like talking with you gentlemen, with you kind souls. Shut up. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and if you want more podcasts, let us know down below, and like the video, and share it to your brethren and your friends, and weird hobos on the street if they have iPhones.
Shoutouts to all the other cool YouTubers and streamers that we happen to mention. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, I might actually make a link dump down below. I don't know, that's gonna take a lot of work. I might need your help, Shane, to edit this video, and
See you guys next time.
Anyway. Bye!
See ya!
Are hobos with iPhones a thing? It seems like well, it would be homeless person, because homeless person is a broad term. That kind of.
You'd better keep this in.
But seriously. No, seriously. We're in our wind down conversation, Shane. But seriously, someone like the term hobo is like so derogatory and like narrow. It's like people can be homeless and still have cars and still have jobs. You can just like lose your house or something. You know, it's a transitional phase. So technically there could be a homeless person with an iPhone.
You heard it here first, folks. Raw Gaming having a philosophical discussion about hobos and their lifestyle.
Oh, God. Good night, everybody.